Major League Baseball's winter meetings. Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne are both there covering what the Cardinals do and what they are planning to do. We will talk things over with Matt in the 12 o'clock hour today. That is all coming up. Also, we are going to give you some terrific tips on how you can avoid getting fired at your holiday party.
Okay,
your work holiday party, which is coming up. Julie Bauke will join us next hour.
This is something that I really want to, you know how I always ask questions of doctors that are suspiciously
specific to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if let's say you're a runner and you're going to see your mom and dad on Saturday and you get the COVID vaccine on Wednesday. So, I mean, it's very specific.
And your blood type is this.
Yes. With this conversation with Julie Bauke about how not to get fired at the Christmas party, all of my questions will be specific to you. Because
awesome.
Here's what's going to happen.
You're not going to the party.
I'm not going to the party. I can't make it, but Ranj is, and he's not working the next day.
Oh, yeah, I'm off the rest of the week after.
Yeah.
It's
so
awesome.
he said he's going to get sloshed.
I didn't say I did not say that.
Also, the last work party
I said I was going to get loose.
The last work party we had, he tried to jump off the balcony.
That is not entirely true.
It is true. You climbed onto the couch, you grabbed the wall, and you threw one of your legs over the wall to jump off the balcony. I did not go that far.
And I wasn't trying to do anything to myself. I just thought maybe in the moment I could fly. So we are... I was feeling good.
I guess if you die, you can't get fired.
That's exactly right. Here's a question.
Yeah.
If it's my fault, do I get the payout?
Well, not if you're
the
dead.
Insurance payout. Well, no, there's a death thing.
Oh yeah,
like a life insurance.
Basic one?
Yeah, the very basic.
Yeah,
one.
I clicked on the basic one.
Yeah, me too. And no one said.
I know.
I don't have any benefactors.
So would Pam get some money?
Yeah, she might. What do
Good
I?
for Pam.
But I don't know. Is it if I do it intentionally? Do they have to pay out?
Well, that's a great question.
That's a great question for an insurer.
This also feels kind of morbid to talk about, but yes, if that happens, if they don't pay out, I can probably say it was one of the FM stations pushed you.
Oh yeah. Thank you. That would be awesome if you did. Maybe you could claim some of the money. You could say that it was traumatic for you.
It would be. I think I will because I'd be sad.
So we wanted to start with this, and
did you want to start with this?
I didn't want to start with that.
No, this next thing. Were you excited about this?
Well, excited? I would not say I'm excited.
People are on the edge of their seats.
No, I know they really are. So last night there was a town hall on Fox News, and Sean Hannity was the host of it, and it was a Donald Trump town hall. And everybody knows what a town hall is. The moderator asks questions, and he gives his answers in front of a small crowd. And that's pretty much what it was last night. He was asked a very specific question by Sean Hannity. And what I want to know is this, and this is not to say that I believe Donald Trump is going to be a dictator if he is reelected in 2024. I have more questions about the language and whether or not it is a big deal that he's talking like this.
They want to call you a dictator. You use the words, I am your retribution. And now before that, you said if you've been wronged, and you used other words as well. But I want to be very, very clear on this. To be clear, do you in any way have any plans whatsoever, if reelected president, to abuse power, to break the law, to use the government to go after people?
You mean like they're using right now? So in the history of our country, what's happened to us, again, has never happened before. Over nonsense, over nothing, made up charges. I often say Al Capone, he was one of the greatest of all time, if you like criminals. He was a mob boss, the likes of which Scarface, they call him. And he got indicted once. I got indicted 4 times. I wonder what my father and mother would say looking down.
Okay.
Wait, there was a lot to unpack.
Yeah, there is a lot there.
There's a lot.
And first of all, I fundamentally disagree with him that, and I know there are a lot of people, mostly driven by him because he keeps saying it over and over again, that the government's being weaponized against him. I'm sorry. I don't believe him. I think that you could make the argument that in New York, what's happening there, they probably have a special interest in really trying to get him on something, because my guess is they've been trying for years to pin something on him, and this was an opportunity for them to do it. So you can make a good argument that's political. I don't believe the rest of these things are. There's too much smoke with the Georgia stuff and with the January 6th stuff, and you have people in his orbit that he hired who are and have spoken out against him and will testify against him too. So I don't buy any of that stuff. He has been pretty clear. I feel like, Amy, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but the tone of his speeches when he's talking to crowds, and it could be that he's just trying to rile them up and he doesn't really mean any of it, that he doesn't mean anything by what he says, but he is kind of talking about retribution and going after the people he feels like wronged him. He's been talking about MSNBC and going after that network if he's back in office. So is the language there dangerous, or is it no big deal?
No, it's bad. It is dangerous, and it's dangerous because it has an effect on people. First of all, we know that he's obsessed with dictators, and he has some dictatorial proclivities, like when he wanted to temporarily suspend the Constitution or have Mike Pence not certify the Electoral College. He's always pushing the boundaries constitutionally. He sees in his mind the Constitution as a hindrance. Like, well, this is unnecessary, because he's always been able to bend the rules. From the time he was born, no one's ever told him no. No one's ever told him the rules apply to him. So now as a president, the rules still don't apply to him. So yes, that matters. Now you could say, well, he's not really going to become a dictator because our institutions will hold, because the Constitution won't let him become a dictator. Fine, I'll listen to that argument, but it does rile up his base. And what it does, we saw actions on January 6th. We see people take things seriously and literally.
Yeah.
And it's a bad message to send. And when you have someone who is most likely going to be the Republican nominee for president and could be president, it's not far-fetched to think of him as president again. To have him using that language, yeah, it matters. I've said this the entire time. I've said this with Biden. I said it with Trump. I said it with Obama. I said it with our leaders in the Senate and in the House. Your words matter when you're a leader. They just do. You can't just say, oh, he's just joking around. No, I'm sorry, you can't. You're the president, or you're a presidential nominee.
So let's go a few minutes later. And this is Hannity, who, to his credit, was really trying to pin him down on an answer.
I want to go back to this one issue, though, because the media has been focused on this and attacking you. Under no circumstances. You are promising America tonight you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
for?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
That's not retribution. I'm
gonna be, he keeps, I love this guy. He says, you're not gonna be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator.
So that sounds to me like you're going back to the policies when you were president.
So, okay, if he's, what I wish he would have said in that moment is, no, dictator, come on. That's a silly term. This is a presidency. It's democratic. I'm not going to be a dictator. But I go to what you said a moment ago, that words matter, especially if you're a leader like him, who has the attention he has. I think you have to be very careful. I think you should not even allow the idea to be entertained. That you could potentially see yourself as that you could put people in place who will do your bidding and have nobody push back against you like you had in your last administration. I think that in itself is a very bad thing. I think that's dangerous. That's not to say that he's going to be a dictator. And I've heard people defend him today and last night saying, well, he's talking about drilling and he's talking about closing the border. He doesn't mean being a literal, actual dictator. Well, then don't leave any room for debate on it. say absolutely no. I'm not a dictator. I'm trying to win your vote.
And even if he's not going to be a dictator, let's just say he's going to exercise the ever-expanding powers of the executive branch. Now, you talk about a branch that is bloated and overstepping. To say something like that is so unimaginative, myopic, and short-sighted because here's the thing. Let's say everyone's so excited. We need the border closed. He's going to do it by fiat. He is the executive branch, and he's going to take action, whatever it is, pen and phone, call it what you want. Okay, fine. Guess what? He'll be gone. Would you want AOC to do the same thing or Elizabeth Warren? Because if it's great when Trump does it, well, then President Elizabeth Warren or President AOC or whoever it is, Kamala Harris can say, you know what? This is really important to me. I'm going to reopen the border because this is an emergency. I'm going to, whatever it may be, fill in the blank, their own agenda. Don't you see, by saying that the power is okay for your side, you are necessarily granting that power to the other side. I don't know how you can be so short-sighted as to not see that. That's why you have the tedious, cumbersome, slow movement of constitutional processes.
314-436-7900 to call or text. Voicemails at 314-944-1120. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation, because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Consumer Cellular offers the exact same nationwide 5G coverage as the major carriers, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Their 100% US-based support is just a click or a call away. Visit your local retail store in St. Louis to switch today.
Hey, folks, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, I recently received the nicest email from a local business executive. It read, "Hey, Charlie, we had Morelli out today to do tuck pointing on our chimneys, and they did a great job. Pricing was fair. They had enough workers to get it done in a day, and the cleanup was exceptional. Thanks for the recommendation." If you've noticed loose bricks or missing mortar on the walls, patio, walkway, porch, or chimney of your home or business, contact the masonry specialists of St. Louis since 1991, Morelli Tuck Pointing. You know, this is the company that's won the Angie's List Super Service Award every year, back to back to back, since 2005. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com, and consult the reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Before you sell your home, you should know the facts. This is Debbie Monterey. What's your home's true value? Which realtor will get you the most money? And as a seller, is the market still in your favor? I recently spent some time with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and here's what she told me. The market is still in the seller's favor. However, these next few months before the holidays represent the last prime time to sell your home. Gloria said everyone knows you can't time the real estate market, but you can sell your home in the months that are statistically the most profitable months to sell real estate. For the past 20 years, Gloria Liu has been successfully selling homes in our area. How has she been so successful? Well, she already has the buyers, which allows her to guarantee to sell your home at your pre-agreed upon price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
With Hardee's Double Deals, get a double cheeseburger or bacon double cheeseburger starting at just $2.99. That's double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese. Or Double the hearty goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese and bacon. Both starting at only $2.99. Hardee's, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant or app for details.
When it comes to electricity, trust the professionals at Reinhold Electric. From residential to commercial to industrial, whatever that project is, maybe it's repairing, maybe it's replacing, maybe it's a brand new project, Reinhold Electric has the team and the equipment and the know-how to get the job done correctly. And they serve a large area. They work in Southern Illinois, Lake St. Louis, Lake of the Ozarks, Springfield, Kansas City. ReinholdElectric.com is their site. 314-631-1158 is the number. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric.
Trusted information, live and local. From the award-winning KMOX Newsroom.
Oh, no joke.
Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, not the dentist here. My dentist in Chicago. His name is Jack Ruby.
Because
no
he
joke.
killed Lee Harvey Oswald.
It's not different. It's a different Jack Ruby.
No, I know.
That guy's dead.
It's a different Jack Ruby. But I was just saying, it's kind of a cool name, which is a terrible thing to say, but it is. Jack Ruby is like, hey. But
I know.
But that's Ranj's dentist.
Yeah, I think he's retired now.
Yeah.
But when I was living up there, I went to.
After he killed Lee Harvey Oswald, he decided to pursue dentistry.
That's right. He's a great dentist.
To right some wrongs.
Great.
Dentist. That is not the Jack Ruby. In case people are listening, that's a joke. Jack Ruby's dead.
What's really funny about it is Steve Stone is a baseball broadcaster. Yeah. He was on the Cubs broadcast on TV for a long time. When the game was on, he would occasionally reference his dentist, Jack Ruby. And I thought, what in the hell? This is when I first moved up there.
Yeah.
Like, there's a Jack. Why does he keep talking about this Jack Ruby fella? And then years later, ended up.
How old is your dentist, Jack Ruby? Do you know? Do you think he was?
I think he's in his 70s, but I don't know how.
So he was probably born. It's 53. He'd be 70. So let's say he was born in 52, 53.
He'd have been a child when all that happened.
I bet his parents were like, gosh, darn it.
On. Maybe he's in his 60s. I don't really know, but there's a possibility.
Born in 53, 54, you got to think his parents are like, oh my God.
Speaking of the Kennedys.
Oh, yeah. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFK Jr., was on Jesse Waters' show, I think it was last night. And Jesse Waters asked him if he had ever flown on Jeffrey Epstein's plane.
Oh.
You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children to visit my mom over Easter. My wife had some kind of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they offered us a ride to Palm Beach. So I went then, and then on another occasion, I flew again with my family, with I think 4 of my children, and Mary, my wife, to Rapid City, South Dakota, to go fossil hunting for a weekend. And but otherwise, I was never on his jet alone. I've been very open about this from the beginning. This was in '93, so it was 30 years ago. It was before anybody knew about Jeffrey Epstein's, his nefarious issues.
I got a lot about that to say, but first of all, he sounds awful. He sounds terrible.
I didn't know he sounded like that all the time.
I didn't either.
It's bad.
Yeah, and you know what it sounds like? It sounds like, I imagine, if John Kennedy were still alive at 110 or whatever he'd be. That's what he would sound like.
Does he have a condition that's why he sounds like that? Because it sounds like he's very, very unwell, but maybe he has a condition.
John Kennedy was really sick. Like, he had all kinds of stuff. He had the bad back. I think he had malaria once, which messed with his health. He had all
You're talking
sorts
about JFK.
He had all sorts of health issues.
No one ever calls him John Kennedy. I was like, who's John?
Do I have to say the F every time?
Yes.
Well, F. I don't know.
John.
Yeah, man,
F.
he had
Kennedy.
he had like a liver thing. He was a mess.
He was on Epstein's plane, but it was to go fossil hunting with his family.
I don't think that everybody who hung out with Jeff Epstein did that, right?
I don't know.
Oh, God, I hope not. That's Amy Marks Cores. I'm Chris Ranji on KMOX.
While no child should have to spend the holidays in the hospital, there are many at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital who will not be able to experience the joy of opening gifts around their tree. Please join KMOX and give the gift of hope and healing to Cardinal Glennon kids and support the Tree of Hope year-end giving campaign. Your gift ensures that these brave patients can continue to receive the critical care they need during these challenging times. Thank you for giving at treeofhope.org.
Reinhold Flooring is dedicated to delivering top-notch flooring solutions with a commitment to customer satisfaction. We ensure your needs are met with the highest level of service. We stand firmly behind our work and make things right when issues arise. Based in St. Louis, we take pride in offering a comprehensive range of services, from crafting custom area rugs to providing manufacturer-approved floor cleaning supplies and even free in-home estimates. We cater to the builder and commercial business with high-quality flooring solutions. Learn more at reinholdflooring.com.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone, 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Enter the amazing universe of 'Twas the Night Before by Cirque du Soleil. An acrobatic retelling of the classic and beloved holiday tale. 'Twas the Night Before by Cirque du Soleil is a forever lasting family experience for your kids and the kid in you. Discover the magic of the holidays at the Fabulous Fox Theater, now on stage through December 10th. Get tickets today at metrotix.com.
At 10:30, we have sunshine, 43 degrees downtown at the Arch. It's National Influenza Vaccination Week, with flu cases and hospitalizations increasing. Health officials are reminding everyone that there's still time to get your flu vaccine. CBS's Danya Backus spoke with the director of the CDC.
Flu activity continues to increase in most parts of the U.S. Hospitalizations are also rising, and there are plenty of other viruses circulating.
Are there any predictions about how the rest of the season will play out?
This year, what I would say is we're seeing a pretty typical season, but that does still mean many folks getting flu and COVID and RSV.
Now, if you are pregnant, you are also at a higher risk of developing serious flu complications. Well, the St. Louis County Council has other ideas for the county budget.
Last night, members unveiled a counterproposal to County Executive Sam Page's 2024 budget request by slashing it by $14 million. It would restore $718,000 for the county's ShotSpotter technology, which Page wanted to get rid of. Council Chair Shalonda Webb says their version of the budget would eliminate the need for a tax increase and would offset more than half of the structural deficit. No final votes expected on the full budget until the board's meeting next Tuesday. Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
A check of traffic right now. 270, the outer road there at the Chain of Rocks Bridge, backing up to the Canal Bridge. Just stop and go traffic on and off. That's due to bridge work inspection that's going on. So they has the right lane closed, and it'll be out there until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Our forecast, sunshine today with some patchy clouds, highs of 49 degrees, clear overnight 37, and for tomorrow, mostly sunny with an afternoon high of 64. Right now, 41 in St. Peters, 42 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 43 degrees. I'm Maria Aquina, in for Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Get into the holiday spirit and listen to The Christmas Station, 102.5 KEZK, for all the sounds of the season, from Mariah to the holiday classics. Plus, keep rocking around the Christmas tree no matter where you are with 102.5 KEZK on the free Odyssey app. Turning your home into a winter wonderland? Ask your smart speaker to play 102.5 KEZK. Enjoy the holiday season your way on the radio, on your smart speaker, and on the free Odyssey app.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This KMOX Major League Baseball Winter Meeting Report is presented by Goodwill. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
We continue to report from baseball's winter meetings in Nashville alongside of Mike Claiborne. I'm Matt Pauley, and Claibs, it's a new day, but not a whole lot has changed as we continue to not see a lot of action. Yesterday, John Mozeliak spoke to the media. I thought the most interesting thing that he said was that maybe the market for relief pitching has shifted from the trade market to more of the free agent market.
Well, I think they want more of a proven product. I think they can manage themselves a little bit better. And there's some names out there that I think have kind of wet the whistle of the Cardinals because they're looking for people with experience and people who can really help this team on the back end. It's going to, while there hasn't been a lot of action here, I think there's been progress made with regard to conversations. And I'm of the belief that we will see a lot of things unfold next week. And I think we'll see even more things unfold before Christmas.
I know fans might be disappointed that there wasn't a huge move or something really happening here at the winter meetings. And maybe it still will happen before all is said and done. But to your point, the groundwork for future moves very often is laid here at the winter meetings.
Yes, between the general manager meetings and these meetings where you can get in front of players in some cases, agents for sure, it's one of those opportunities for everybody to come together and just kind of get a feel for what the market is asking for.
That's Mike Claiborne. I'm Matt Pauley. This winter meetings report being brought to you by Goodwill. Give local, give hope, give Goodwill. Matt Pauley and Mike Claiborne, KMOX Sports.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Rooney. Do you have an old car that's taking up room in the driveway? Repairs are costly and selling is a hassle. That's why you should donate it to Goodwill. Donating is quick and towing is free. Plus, you get a tax receipt and 4 tickets to a Cardinals game next year, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a win-win. For more information or to donate, visit online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention Cardinals.
Get ready for men's Billikens basketball action tonight as they take on Drake. Pre-game 6:45, tip at 7. Hear the game here on your home for Billikens basketball. KMOX.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. A little bit of breaking news that just happened in the last couple of minutes. Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House, announced in an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal that he is leaving Congress at the end of the year, which is not totally surprising. I mean, the way things have gone for him, but
well, and as you asked, which was the question I had, did we know this?
It's it feels like
did he already announce that? Is this
is
this just confirming something we knew was going to happen?
I don't think so.
Okay,
but it seems like it was going to happen eventually. But he is leaving Congress, so. No longer Speaker of the House. Kevin McCarthy will be done at the end of the year, he says. Also, want to mention this. The inaugural Give Back Trivia Night is January 5th, and it's at the Moolah Shrine Center. Tables for 10 are $200, so it's $20 a person. A significant portion of the proceeds go toward making a positive impact at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital's Tree of Hope campaign, which facilitates crucial programs essential to a child's recovery. So you can reserve your tables at KMOX.com/events. It's a really good cause. It's very meaningful and it's inexpensive and it's a lot of fun. It's on a Friday night, January 5th.
And as our boss really wants you to know.
Yeah, you have nothing to do.
Nobody has anything to do in January.
No, what is it? You had New Year's, and then now there's nothing to look forward to until spring training.
Oh, I just think of how miserable February is going to be. Isn't February the worst month? So really, this is the perfect time to do this. January. People need something to look forward to in January.
Because there's nothing.
Because January 1. That's it. That's the only good day in January.
Let's go to the Quiver River Electric guest line for the first time this morning. Amy, we bring in Tara Frazier, child abuse pediatrician, Division of Child Adversity and Resilience, Associate Program Director of the Child Abuse Pediatrics Fellowship Program, and with us from the UMKC School of Medicine. Tara, we appreciate your time today. Thank you for visiting with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And the reason we are having you on is that in the state of Missouri, there has been a huge rise in fentanyl poisonings amongst kids and sleep-related deaths. What is going on here?
Well, a couple of different things. You mentioned both of those, and they're not related to each other. They're really two separate things. And part of the goal of the child fatality review panels, each county has a panel, and then there's the state panel, is to do just that, to try to figure out what's going on here, because the leading factors may be a little bit different from place to place.
Let's talk about the issue with fentanyl, because I think there's confusion regarding fentanyl, how and when it can hurt somebody who's not directly taking a drug that has it in there. Like fentanyl can affect those around the drug itself.
Right. So, for these deaths, though, it is a child directly taking the drug. Now, they weren't prescribed the medicine, right? We call it an unintentional poisoning for most of these, because the child gains access to fentanyl that's in their care environment. And being children, most of these fentanyl poisonings are in young children who are unintentionally getting it and don't even know what it is. And like most young children, they put things in their mouth, and that's how they ingest this fentanyl. The other group is teens who may be taking it intentionally without intending to harm themselves, or who may be taking it with the intent to commit suicide.
So then following up on that with the fentanyl, right now, the children's deaths, they all ingested the fentanyl. It wasn't from touching it or physically coming into contact with it other than ingestion?
To the best of my knowledge, I don't have the specific case details for all of these. One of the things that we really strive to do when looking at the child fatality review data is provide some confidentiality. And so there is that data, but I don't have that data. But what I can tell you is the vast majority, the fentanyl gets in their system often through contact with the mouth and some type of ingestion. Maybe they get it on their fingers and then they put their fingers in their mouth, or, there's contact in their environment. But for most of these kids, it's ultimately that ingestion route.
Yeah, and I've heard from a number of different people who know substances, and they say that fentanyl, you can't really, it can't really hurt you if you just touch it, that it's got to be ingested some way. So if it gets into your mouth or something else, then you've got a problem. So is it for a child? Is it more likely that they can touch something and it can affect them just by virtue of being a child and not an adult? Is it more affecting to them?
No, not generally through absorption through the skin or just generally touching it. And again, if they touch it, that substance is then on their hands, or that substance is on their bottle or their pacifier. Children, they're great spreaders of things, as we see with viruses in the same way. If there's a substance in their environment that's getting on their toys, on, their bottles, pacifiers, hands, that often then makes its way to their mouth, because children are such, we call them oral explorers. Everything goes to the mouth.
If this is something that we're seeing a rise in deaths because of fentanyl. We're seeing that rise of deaths in children. What action can be taken? What action is being taken, whether it's pediatricians or speaking to legislators, to try to take steps to prevent more deaths, more child deaths from fentanyl?
Right. This is a problem, not just in Missouri, but nationwide. And so there are lots of actions being taken at the federal level. There's increased, regulations around opioid prescribing to try to reduce the amount of opioids that are out there. There are, within Missouri, the Department of Mental Health, the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Social Services, all of the executive departments, most executive departments really do have at least some sort of efforts to address opioid use, opioid access, prevention efforts. Hospitals are encouraging parents to use lock boxes or caregivers, for all medicines, but particularly reminding them of the dangers of fentanyl and having that out, reminding caregivers to be vigilant. Maybe they don't have fentanyl in their environment, but when they're visiting other people's houses, to be diligent, in the same way that we encourage parents to ask if there are any guns in the household, are there any medications, is there fentanyl, where are people's purses stored? Are they where children can access them? Really trying to remind people that the same types of safety precautions that they should think about for the poisons and chemicals under their sink, they should really think about making sure that any medicines, particularly fentanyl, are up and out of reach, and to not underestimate the ability of children to explore their environment and to get into things. So I think that's one of the really important things. One of the other initiatives is just making access to naloxone, or it's commonly known as Narcan, making that available publicly and really decreasing the stigma around substance use disorders, so that, the goal is really for naloxone to be widely available. So anytime anyone sees someone who they think might have ingested opioids, they can take action. Again, much like we have AEDs in public places, so that if you see someone that you think is in cardiac arrest, you can take action. To call 911, to start CPR, and to go grab that automatic defibrillator. And so trying to increase awareness around fentanyl and opioids, so that, again, should you see someone who's unresponsive, think opioids, think activating 911, make sure you're starting CPR, and try to get some naloxone to them as soon as possible, because that can help reverse the respiratory depression and nervous system effects that opioid and fentanyl is having on that person, and particularly children.
Last thing I want to ask you before we let you go here, there is another thing that is becoming more of an issue, or for whatever reason has been, and it was in 2022. There were more unintentional deaths of children by suffocation or strangulation in the crib. There were 79 of them. That is more than car accidents. What is happening, and what do parents need to do to keep their kids safe while they sleep?
They really need to remember that the best place for a child to sleep is alone on their back, on their own sleep surface. Many of these deaths occur when the child is sharing a sleeping surface. So in the bed with a caregiver, that child really needs their own sleep surface. No matter how good your intentions are and how good you think you're going to be at being aware of the child, parents, caregivers are exhausted during those early months of a child's life. And it's really easy for the child to get turned, to roll slightly, so that they're not getting good air, for their airway to get compromised. And so giving that child their own firm sleep surface without any blankets or bedding or stuffed animals or pillows. They want to be alone on their back, on their own firm sleep surface. That's the ABCs, alone, back, and crib, are really the best ways to help keep babies safe during sleep.
And so basically just a fitted sheet, that's it, nothing else.
Just the fitted sheet, nothing else. There are some great sleep sacks, if parents are worried about the baby being cold. There are various sleep sacks for the different developmental stages of the babies. You want it to be lightweight. And that's all a baby needs. Put them in a little fleece onesie. You don't want them to get overheated. So looking at those, we don't want weighted blankets or anything like that. Truly, babies are meant to wake up frequently. And I've been there. It's exhausting as a parent, but that's what babies do. And so I think acknowledging that it's normal for a baby to wake. That's actually a healthy baby, is one who wakes up several times during the night. So keeping them in that safe environment.
Tara Frazier, child abuse pediatrician, child abuse pediatrics fellowship program professor at UMKC School of Medicine. We appreciate your time and the information today. Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Also, a good resource for information is safesleep.mo.gov. That is safesleep.mo.gov. It's Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Just imagine getting net returns of 32%, 36%, 27%, 9%, 33%, 21%, 18%, 4%, 10%, even 35%. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore with Masterworks, the premier platform for investing in blue chip art. Masterworks has over 810,000 registered users and 16 exits to date that have paid out tens of millions in net proceeds. Although with Masterworks, you don't need millions to start investing. No wonder some of Masterworks' new offerings have sold out in minutes. Luckily, listeners can now skip the wait list at masterworks.com, promo code MARS. That's masterworks.com, promo code MARS. Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. Important Regulation A disclosures and aggregate advisory performance at masterworks.com/CD.
Winterfest is back. Come out to Keener Plaza now through December 31st for ice skating, s'mores, and igloos underneath 100,000 twinkling lights under the Gateway Arch. The winter celebration will also have exciting events like St. Louis Blues Try Hockey Free and a New Year's Eve fireworks spectacular. Winterfest, hosted by Gateway Park Arch Foundation, presented by Bank of America and Worldwide Technology, produced in partnership with the St. Louis Blues as part of the Foundation's mission to uplift St. Louis. Learn more at archpark.org/Winterfest.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. This is ingenious. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down, or as long as you like. It's your call. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
How old are elves? Does Mrs. Claus have a first name? Is the fur attached to the top of Santa's boots or the bottom of Santa's pants? Some holiday mysteries may never be solved, but with holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery, finding the perfect gift doesn't have to be one of them. The spark of possibility that comes with every ticket versus the disappointment of yet another ugly holiday sweater. The better gift is clear. Give holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
RENNER, forward and back. Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. Renner Garage Door services the entire St. Louis metro area, St. Charles, South County, and Eastern Illinois. Sales and service. Renner, forward and back. RENNER, RennerDoorSTL.com. Giddy up!
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The people have spoken. I want to thank you, St. Louis, for voting Onder Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
This holiday season, give them a steal. Save $40 on the HSA 45 battery-powered hedge trimmer. Go to steelusa.com/gift guide. Now $99.99 was $139.99 MSRP. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
It's wonderful. It's incredible.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Rhonda, I don't know if you saw this, but I would be frustrated, I guess. Brad Pitt is making an F1 movie.
I love Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and do you like F1?
Yeah. You know what? This is controversial, but I like F1 more than I like NASCAR. But I don't
Is
really.
that controversial? I think
Yeah,
most
people are-
people
I
in
think
the
you're
world like F1 more
Well, yeah,
than
you're
they like
American. You're
NASCAR.
supposed to like NASCAR. You're supposed to like stock car racing. But
I like IndyCar. I never watched NASCAR.
I think
anyway,
the F1 cars are cooler.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Sorry.
Okay, here's the thing. Brad Pitt made this F1 movie, but all the sponsorships of the cars and everything in the movie have changed since he filmed the vast majority of the film. So now legally they're unsure if they can use the footage. So they're going to have to, at least right now, they believe, scrap most of the movie that they filmed that will cost them at least millions and millions of dollars, because they already spent $20 million building full grid replica of F1 cars. And they can't use those cars and the footage because all the sponsorships have changed, and they're not sure if, I don't think legally we can use this. So right now it's on hold, and they might have to film the whole movie over again. And if they have to, they might just scrap it. Wouldn't that be frustrating?
Yeah, I don't understand why you can't just use the old sponsors. Why is that a big deal?
I don't know.
It's just a movie. It's not actual advertising, right? Or am I seeing this the wrong way?
No, I don't know. It says film crews were present at the 2023 British Grand Prix. They shot several scenes on the track and in the paddock over the course of the weekend. And then all of these other sponsorships have changed. So I'm not really sure why this would be an issue. You would think that this would happen all the time. You would think maybe they could use CGI
You would think so.
to change some of the sponsorships.
Hey, did you see, Nick Cannon, who was, he was in the studio. He was in the office, about 3 months ago for some reason. He was in town. You see how much he spends? He told a podcast that he spends on his children, because he's got like a dozen of them.
Mm-hmm.
How much per year do you think he spends at Disneyland?
$200,000.
That's exactly the number.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding.
Are you
He
serious?
says he spends 200 G's at Disneyland every year on his kids. Wow.
What?
Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer, or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $300. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
The average age of a hearing aid wearer has gone from 68 to 59 years old. What's going on? Let's check in with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center.
Baby boomers think of themselves as 15 years younger than they are. They're shifting their mindset from a retroactive to more of a proactive mindset in healthcare. They're focusing more on preventative healthcare, and that includes better hearing. We're here to bring loved ones back into the conversation. So please come in to see us so that we can test your hearing and get a treatment plan that's right for you. Hearing aids are so much more than better hearing. They can also alert loved ones if you've fallen and of your current location. They can keep track of your steps to encourage healthy movement throughout the day. Come see us to learn more.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Colleen Bosler has 3 locations: Creve Coeur, St. Peter's, and Florissant. Call 636-441-7470 to make an appointment.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunshine, 43 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Kina, in for Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, it's developing. Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, will leave Congress at the end of the year. The Wall Street Journal made the announcement as an op-ed. With McCarthy's departure, that leaves Republicans with a slim majority of 2 representatives. Attorney General Merrick Garland has announced war crimes charges against 4 Russians in connections with the war against Ukraine. General Garland described the abduction and torture of an American citizen living in Ukraine.
These charges against 4 Russia-affiliated military personnel are the Justice Department's first criminal charges under the U.S. War Crimes Statute. They are also an important step toward accountability for the Russian regime's illegal war in Ukraine.
General Garland says the charges will be pursued no matter how long it takes, much like the U.S. pursued war crime charges against Nazis following World War II. Residents of Israeli settlements in the West Bank reacted with dismay after the United States said that it was beginning to impose visa bans on people involved in violence in the West Bank. The U.S. has appealed repeatedly to Israeli authorities to do more to prevent the harassment and assaults of Palestinians by Jewish settlers. 34-year-old Mariah Bakara says she doesn't know why this is relevant.
I live here in so-called West Bank, and I don't know anybody that would do something like that or harm Palestinians.
From the KMOX Business Desk, the leader of Steelworkers Union Local 1899 provided an update regarding U.S. Steel and the dispute over adequate notice not being made this summer for October layoffs at the Granite City Steel Mill.
I've been in contact with the company, and we're going to resolve this issue as the WARN notice violation and their willingness to settle this.
Dan Simmons tells KMOX that U.S. Steel will not admit wrongdoing, but will make all employees covered under the definition of the WARN Act whole. He sends his thanks to government leaders at the local, state, and federal levels for drawing public attention to this situation. At 11:02, a check of the Dow, it's up at 17 0.97, almost 18 points to 36,142. And a check of traffic. Looks like right now for eastbound 364 drivers at 141, construction ongoing. Looks like only 2 right lanes are getting by right now. Those 2 left lanes are blocked. As for our forecast, Dave Murray.
It's a pretty afternoon across the St. Louis area with lots of sunshine, but it's a chilly day. 48 for the high. Tonight, clear skies will slowly drop out of the 40s. 35 for the overnight low. On Thursday, cold start, but partly sunny skies, windy and warmer in the afternoon on Thursday. 61, breezy and 45 Thursday night. Friday, partly sunny, 62. Though some increasing clouds mid to late day on Friday. Saturday is wet with periods of rain, even a couple of rumbles of thunder. 58 for the high, but dropping temperatures going through Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, rain, couple of rumbles, some wet snow possible late Saturday night. 32. Sunday, some early morning mix of rain and wet snow, then turning partly sunny and a cold 42 on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Right now in St. Peters, it's 41 degrees, 42 in Florissant, and downtown of the Arch, we have 43 degrees. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Consumer Cellular. Freedom calls. Consumer Cellular offers the exact same nationwide 5G coverage as the major carriers, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Their 100% U.S.-based support is just a click or a call away. Visit your local retail store in St. Louis to switch today.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis Cardinals Baseball. Cardinal tickets are on sale now and start at $55. Details at cardinals.com/holiday.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on KMOX. Text messages 314-436-7900. You're in hour 2 of the show. And this texter, we were asking the question earlier. If you could live at any time in your life, that was really the question. If you could live any time that you've already been alive, not in the future. But one texter did say this: I'd like to live in 2028. I'll be retired and neither Biden nor Trump will be president. So, okay, that's fair. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine who was out in the hallway before the show started, and he works for City SC now, and he happened to be here. He was talking with Tom Ackerman, and he said, politics is just so dumb now. Everything is stupid, and it's pretty much the conversation we have constantly, where there's a large number, probably the largest percentage. I don't know if it's most or if it's just the plurality, but whatever it is, most people are exhausted by the politics. They're exhausted by the extremities. They don't really identify with far right or far left. And I feel, Amy, like there are just too many people now, even though it's not the majority, there are just too many people now who are and who spend most of the day angry, probably. We were talking about how people are generally upset at work, right? This was a conversation we had last week. And I don't recall if it was somebody in the room or if it was a caller who said, you know what I think it is?
A caller, yeah.
I think it might have been a texter caller, who said, I think it is because of all that's going on elsewhere, and you don't just turn that off and go to work.
Right.
You're angry about this and this and this, and then you go to work. And then you're supposed to be okay and forget about all of those things. Well, people aren't. So it's not that they're unhappy with their workplace necessarily, though that's some of it, but they're just generally unhappy with the state of things.
And let's tie this into a conversation earlier today on the show when you brought up Donald Trump making the comments about being a dictator, and I think it was off the air or something. You said, like, I don't understand, right? When everyone that Trump has worked with, his hand-picked advisors, his closest circle, which he picked, have all said this guy, he broke the law. He is
they turned on him.
Yeah,
Not all of them, but a huge percentage of them have turned on him.
Yeah, volatile, not good for the country, so forth. And yet people remain fiercely loyal to Trump himself.
Voters.
Voters, yeah. They said voters are passionate about him and not policy, not conservatism, not Reaganism. My goodness, a lot of MAGA crowd doesn't. And Reaganism would be anathema, right? There's the strictest, the most loyal Trump followers. Trump could do anything, they would follow him. And then there are those who maybe aren't culty, but would still vote for him over Biden or whoever. This is all going to tie in. I came into work really kind of just irritable today, and which is crazy because we have a fun job. I love working with Ranj and Andrews in our office, and we all talk about pretty passionate stuff. I think that's what makes this work environment unusual, is that every single day we all talk about some of the most controversial things in the world, whether it's politics, abortion, Israel, and then also our daily lives. We share a lot, probably a lot more than a lot of families share. Yep. And I came in and I felt irritable, and I felt like Ron said, he's like, you're wearing it, right? And we were talking about Israel, and I was talking about anti-Semitism, and I was getting really upset. And he's like, you wear it. And I could even tell, yeah, I am. And I also felt like I was justifying it, because I'm like, I feel like I hold in a lot and I don't say as much, and this stuff is bothering me, and this is bothering me, and the traffic is bad, and everything was bothering me. And I realized in the traffic jam, I'm always trying to prepare. So when I run, whatever I'm doing, I'm in the car, listen to political podcasts, listen to news podcasts, trying to get the sense of what everybody is saying. So I was listening to a specific podcast, or I should say a podcast with a specific episode that was really going through a lot of the anti-Semitic events that have been taking place in the last week, and then the protesters and some of the very, very ignorant chants, right? And like, this happened in Brooklyn, and this happened in Philly, and this happened in Oakland, California. And I listened to it, and I got to work, and I was carrying it, and I felt really upset. And the thing is, those are real things that you can be upset about. You can absolutely be upset about that. But I carried it, and I thought, oh my gosh, this was 1 hour of listening to a podcast that was blasting a lot of the progressives. It was blasting, I shouldn't say blasting. They were a fair criticism of Joe Biden, right? And I agreed with everything they were saying, but it almost felt like a catharsis of like, oh, I want to say this and this and that. And then also I was getting upset, and I just carried it with me. And that was less than an hour of a podcast. Now, if I were watching a news station which fed information like that 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day, I think I might lose my mind.
Yeah.
And I also, like I said, it's that fine balance of, you have to know where you stand. You have to know your beliefs. You want to stand up for what's right, but it can't consume you. And I know we use the term culture war, and that is very loaded. There's a lot of connotations. And the thing is, there are some very real cultural values that are being disputed right now. And I stand up for certain things. And there are people who stand up, against those things. And those are important. But it's, if all I did was listen to or watch a news station like Fox News, telling me all day long, this is how bad the other side is, this is what they believe, this is what they're doing, I think I would be so consumed by it that it would make
it
would take over my entire world, and I would forget how to interact with people.
And it's not just addressing topics that do matter, and that there are, you're talking about the anti-Semitism, which is a problem, and it is something that needs to be addressed. And then you move to culture wars, which, there is reason to debate and discuss a lot of those things. But when it is presented to you over the course of an entire day, however long you're watching, as the end of civilization as we know it, you have no choice but to be upset all the time.
Yeah.
It's not just look what the other side believes and look what some of them are doing. That's what all of them are doing, and now they're coming for you, whatever that may be. And when you hear that all damn day long, if that's all you are watching, and I know that I'll get disagreement on this, but I'm sorry, there's one network that is far worse at this than any other network. Fox News is far worse at this than any network. And others do it to an extent where they're trying to make you angry, they're trying to make you upset. but not in the concerted way they do it. It's a nonstop barrage all day long. Look, my grandmother, who passed away a few months before we started this show, that's all she watched, man. And you couldn't talk to her about anything because she would just get angry, and you'd say, you know what, well, let's not do any of this. And she wasn't like that before. She just wasn't. She was, when I was growing up in college even, she wasn't like that. And then many, many years later, all she did was watch. It was on TV all the time. And so she was mad about things all the time. You see what they're doing over here. You see what this person did and what these people are doing. If it's like that all the time, how does it not affect your mood?
Oh,
and you have to have a better media diet. People need that. And you can't just listen to one thing all day, except for us.
Yeah, you can listen to us all day.
Yeah, all day.
Well, and the thing is, too, I agree with you that I do think there's the anger element. Like my mom, like when I was on with Charlie Brennan, Rush Limbaugh was still on, sometimes you leave the radio on. So Rush would come on. And my mom, it was like, he's kind of angry all the time. She was, I think it was a mattress commercial, but he sounded pretty mad. And the thing is, Rush probably said some things that I agreed with. I mean, I'm a conservative, right? But if you're angry all the time, it really does rile people up.
It does, and it's a small thing, but I will never forget when he was railing against the I don't know, the not eco-friendly, they're more the light bulbs that last a long time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, the ones that last for several years instead
yeah.
of burning out. And he was like, you think I'm going to use these curly, because he used to be, they look like a pig's tail. They were curly. And I guess you could still get those. But he was railing against them and he was angry. Like, you think I'm going to switch to these pigtail curly Q light bulbs? You've got enough. Like, what the hell are you mad about?
Yeah.
You're mad about a light bulb that you pay a little bit more for, but it will last for 5 years? This is what you're pissed about? And it's a small cross-section of how he and people like that see everything.
Yeah.
And if you see everything that way, how do you not help but have a bad attitude constantly?
And and I know this is a slightly different angle because that is something that, doesn't matter. And he was angry. And if you're angry all the time, it riles people up and then you'll stay angry. And you would have a bad attitude all the time but then there are also legitimate topics like what I was listening to today was legitimate and it needs to be told. But it really did. If you consume so much all the time, I don't think we're meant to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders all the time because there are issues. I'll say like this one. I think I'm an advocate for women's sports. I always joke that I'm a conservative feminist. It's really important. Women athletes, female athletes. So with the whole issue, right? We know that there's an issue with transgender athletes and how does that work? We're still figuring out how that works. And sport is science and there are certain biological advantages to being male. I'll go on and on about that, right? I feel strongly about that and I do stand up for women's sports and looking at the science behind things. That's important. I don't think that's trivial. However, if all day long I consumed news about that,
yes,
I would not be a normal person. I would start to lose my mind and it would consume my whole personality. And the thing is, you can stand up for what you believe, but also have balance and know that faith is important. For me, faith above all, faith and family and community and neighbors and friends and continue to build relationships. Because if I only focused on that one thing, which very, very much matters and I think is a really big deal, but if I let it consume me, it becomes very unhealthy.
And that topic is something to discuss because there are legitimate arguments, and I hate to both side things because not everything is a both sides issue. Sometimes there is one side that's just absolutely
right,
wrong.
like World War II. The Nazis
just
were
absolutely
wrong.
wrong.
We're not going to give them the platform.
You don't, under any circumstance, got to hand it to Hitler.
That's exactly right.
The idea, though, is that if you treat every one of these topics like it is, as I said earlier, the end of the country and civilization as you know it, then that makes people angry. But that's the intent. That is the intent of these news programs, is to keep you fired up so that you continue to watch. It is a very similar idea to the algorithm on YouTube and on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is you follow, they get an idea of what they think is going to keep you coming back. And a lot of times it's really bad content, and some of it is angry content.
And it's like a drug. I mean, this rage machine is like a drug, and you keep going to this news station, whatever the news station may be, to get your hit, to get angry. And the thing is, the angrier you are, the more anger and outrage and rage you need to get that high of political anger. And as Ron said, if you really start to believe it is the end of America or democracy as you know it, it's not just anger. Now you're morally obligated to take action.
Yeah.
You're morally obligated to storm the Capitol because you truly believe
the other side's trying to
the
end it.
Of democracy.
This texter from a 314 says, perhaps if you guys stopped obsessing on people obsessing, that would really help us stop obsessing. Just a thought. Listen, we appreciate the text. That's really stupid, though. And here's why it's stupid. We're pointing out part of the problem. We're not obsessing over it. We are pointing out what one of the biggest issues in the country is. And that's how you address it, is by acknowledging it. That's how you can fix things, is by realizing that's what's going on. You call it obsession. We call it pointing it out, because it needs to be pointed out. But we appreciate the text. You're welcome to send us whatever messages whenever you want. 314-436-7900. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hey, have you finished your holiday shopping yet?
No, I just cannot find anything for my sister-in-law. She's so picky, and I don't want to give her a gift card again.
Doesn't she have a big Euro trip planned for next year? What about getting her a subscription to Rosetta Stone? I got one a month ago, and I've learned so much already.
That's a great idea. Why did you pick Rosetta Stone?
The app has this great feature that tells me how well I'm speaking each word compared to native speakers. I've never gotten feedback like this from any other app before. Plus, it's fun and has tons of bonus content to teach you about the culture, so she can really feel ready for her trip.
That sounds perfect. Is the monthly subscription expensive?
They actually sell a lifetime subscription, so she'll get access to all 25 of their languages forever, and it's 50% off right now.
You are a genius. Thank you.
Of course. Visit rosettastone.com/radio. Don't forget, the subscription is 50% off right now, so hurry and get that deal.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms Zero Res clean starting at just $129. You can also get $50 off your air duct cleaning when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues, and now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
How are balloons made? Where did the dinosaurs go? Why is the sky blue?
Your kids asked you the tough questions because they trusted you. So how about another question for you? Do you have a trusted financial professional to go to for answers on your retirement? Questions like, how much do I really need to retire? When should I take my Social Security benefits? Could my taxes go up when I stop working? We'll leave those tough kid questions to you, but for your retirement questions, Heisey Advisory Group is the team to ask. Call them today at 314-328-4400. We all have important questions. Get your retirement questions answered with help from Heisey Advisory Group. Call now at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Security products and services made available through AE Financial Services LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. AEFS and Pine Ridge Advisors LLC are not affiliated.
Hey, this is Joe Buck, here to tell you about Sound Story, the perfect gift for the holiday season. I miss my dad every day. When I want to hear his voice and his stories, all I have to do is go online. Well, imagine if you could do the same. With Sound Story, your loved ones' voices and stories are saved for your family forever. Sound Story is a professionally produced hour-long conversation in which you or one of your loved ones is interviewed by your choice of one of our professional interviewers, including Tom Ackerman, Debbie Monterey, Carol Daniel, and Dave Glover. With just a couple of clicks, you can purchase a Sound Story gift certificate and your holiday shopping will be complete. Go to mysoundstory.com for more information and enter promo code KMOX for 10% off your Sound Story gift certificate. Purchase your loved one's gift certificate today. Schedule your Sound Story later. Again, that's mysoundstory.com, promo code KMOX for 10% off your Sound Story gift certificate. Sound Story, for you, for them, forever.
Nearly a century of informing, entertaining, and serving St. Louis. KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. 314-436-7900 is the number to visit with us. You're welcome to do it, even if your opinion's bad. Mark is with us from Afton. Hello, Mark.
Yeah, I got 2 points to make, and one of them is Amy talking about how she felt when she came in this morning. I was talking about that with your workforce. When you have nothing but negativity, then it brings you down, so you don't like even work. Because you're negative. Number two is that you're talking about the stations keep cramming that stuff to you. Well, that's exactly what Gerber's did. And so that's all you listen to, and that's what you believed. That's what you felt. That's what you acted on. And we got to be careful with stuff like that because that's how it happens, is by shoving it stuff like that. And you will not look at the facts. You will not look at the truth. You'll look at what you see only because that's what you're fed. And by the way, that's what China does too. You only get what China wants. So they don't know anything that is different. And that's what they feel.
Yeah, it's propagandistic. And I think that's why it happens there. And we appreciate the phone call, Mark. It happens in China. It happens in North Korea. Clearly, it's happening in Russia where they tell you what the government wants you to hear. We don't have that. And that's what I think we need to embrace. While there's this anti-journalism sentiment, and it has been around for a long time, and it has gotten worse over the last 5 or 6 years. We need to cool it with that, because if we don't have a free press, even one you don't agree with, we're in trouble when it is nothing but state media. Also, you need to be mindful of the outlets you're listening to and watching and what their intent is. And there are a lot of great journalists out there who are really, truly trying to do good work. But then there are some people who are not journalists, who are hosts, who are doing talk shows on TV, who have a completely separate idea.
And I know this is difficult, and that's why we have to have discernment. I would say we read a wide array of newspapers because there are incredible journalists at legacy media outlets, whether it's the New York Times, you could go to the Associated Press, the Wall Street Journal, CNN. Then there are some journalists who have fallen into seeing journalism as a tool of justice. So there's a little bit of an agenda for maybe one or two journalists, in this story over here, whatever it may be. I bring this up because let's say you read a story in the New York Times that you're like, oh, I can, see the bias. They're not telling the whole story. Okay, well, look at that journalist name or whatever and say, okay, this one I don't necessarily agree with, but there are a lot of really good journalists at the New York Times. The same with CNN. I think the CNN has gotten markedly better in the past year as well. I feel like not just Clarissa Ward's been there for years, she's amazing, but just overall the station has been very good. We talked about this with Monty Friedman, how there are some journalists. Sometimes he laments that there are some who are putting in their own bias one way or another. But overall, one, we have a free press in the U.S. 2, use discernment. 3, don't throw out a whole news organization just because you don't care necessarily for one journalist, because without the work that they're doing, we'd be in the dark like countries like China.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. And when we come back, a public service for you. We're going to tell you how not to get fired at your holiday party. That's next on KMOX.
Hey guys,
What's
this is Dave.
holding
from the
you
Dave
back
Glover
from
Show,
learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks. Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Electricity is dangerous. That's why you should only trust the professionals at Reinhold Electric. They cover a lot of ground from the St. Louis metro area all the way to Kansas City and Springfield and Lake of the Ozarks. If you have a residential, commercial, or industrial need when it comes to electricity, trust the professionals at Reinhold Electric. Contact them today at ReinholdElectric.com or call them at 314-631-1158. They answer the phone 24 hours a day. Reinhold Electric. Tell them Bo sent you.
This year, Christmas meets the Beatles. You're invited to Let It Be Christmas, the rock opera that tells the Christmas story entirely with classic Beatles songs. It's a St. Louis holiday tradition warming hearts and spirits for over a decade. Performances are December 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at the beautiful new Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. Let It Be Christmas, the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Tickets available now at metrotix.com or the K-Pac box office.
At 11:30, we have sunshine, 43 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Biden will be making remarks soon, urging Congress to pass his national security supplemental request, including funding for Ukraine. A Maryland school district is defending its practice of sending students for psychiatric evaluations in handcuffs. CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes explains it's happening elsewhere in the nation.
On Maryland's Eastern Shore, Wycomico County has used the process at least 750 times on students, some as young as 5 years old. Advocates say schools across the nation, from New York City to Kentucky, are using emergency petitions over students lashing out over bullying or frustration. But most of the students affected in Maryland are Black or disabled. Wycomico County had a 2017 agreement with the Department of Justice not to misuse emergency petitions, but mandated trips to the emergency room are up. The county says they are not used for disciplinary purposes. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Mail carriers in rural northern Minnesota, a post office there, are overwhelmed by Amazon packages. They say they have been warned, though, not to use the word Amazon, including when customers ask why the mail is delayed. The directive reportedly came down from U.S. Postal Service management. Democratic Minnesota U.S. Senator Tina Smith to the U.S. Postmaster.
As the post office is taking on the responsibility now to deliver Amazon packages, there's even a bigger crunch.
Mail carriers in Bemidji, Minnesota, recently staged a symbolic strike outside of the post office, protesting the heavy workloads and long hours that are caused by the sudden arrival of thousands of Amazon packages. A check of traffic at this hour. No major problems, just some construction delays around the area. Still 270, the outer road there at the Chain of Rocks Bridge, backing up to the Canal Bridge. Stop and go traffic. That's because the right lane is closed and will remain closed until 4 this afternoon. Sunny skies, some patchy clouds this afternoon with a high of 49 degrees, clear and 37 tonight. And for tomorrow, mostly sunny with a really big warm up. Afternoon highs, 64 degrees. Right now, 41 in St. Peters, 42 in Florissant. And downtown of the Arch, it's 43 degrees. I'm Maria Kina in for Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Honey, can you swing by the post office and grab some stamps?
Done.
And drop off these packages?
Sure thing, honey.
Ooh, and get the tracking info.
Got it.
But you haven't moved.
I know. How great is that?
This holiday season, the Postal Service is closer than ever with convenient ship-from-home services like label printing, free package pickup, and delivery notifications. You can send more holiday joy from the comfort of home. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Ship from home at USPS.com/holidayjoy.
Jay-Z might be known for his chart-topping hip-hop singles, but his investments in branding, entertainment, and fine art propelled him to billionaire status. That's right, his investments in fine art. Now, this potentially lucrative asset class is available to everyday investors like you with Masterworks. Masterworks allows anyone to invest in blue chip artworks, just like billionaires and celebrities. With over 810,000 registered users and tens of millions in net proceeds paid out, some of Masterworks' new offerings have even sold out in minutes. Luckily, listeners can now skip the wait list at masterworks.com, promo code SATURN. That's masterworks.com, promo code SATURN. Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. Important Regulation A disclosures and aggregate advisory performance at masterworks.com.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes talks football, family, and more. Monday nights during Sports Open Line. Only on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Jamie Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. We have our holiday party next week, and I can't wait to go to it. I have created a list of things that I am going to run by Julie and ask her if it's okay if I do these things at the party.
Because it's next week.
It is next week. Wow. President and Chief Career Strategist at the Bauke Group, Julie Bauke, is visiting with us on the Quiver River Electric guest line this morning. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning. I am prepared to help you not make a fool of yourself at the party.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
You listen.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't have
Is that too big?
No, the thing is, I think if he does, we want to know. Okay, we don't want him to not make a fool of himself. We want him to make as big of a fool of himself as he can without getting fired. Like, can you walk him up to that line?
Right. Walk him right up to that line.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
So let me run down a few things real quick.
Okay.
Just we'll do like rapid fire sort of. We'll
Okay, I'm ready.
Tell me if I'm good. Can I do 1 million shots?
No.
Okay, I cannot do that. Can I tear down any of the decorations and wear them as a hat?
No. Maybe.
Can I ask either of my bosses what their problem is?
No. Hard no.
Okay, well, then I'm not going.
Okay, here's another one. Does he have to keep his pants on at all times?
Oh, yes. I think I speak for everyone at the station when I say
What?
yes.
What? However, what? Julie, what if I have Christmas long johns?
Yeah, what if he has
Ooh,
Christmas long johns?
Still, you know what? Here's the problem. The digging age we live in now, that would be recorded and be up on social media in a heartbeat, and it would live to haunt you for the rest of your career. We could get away with that, 20 years ago.
Okay.
But everything lives forever now. So I'd say keep the pants on.
Okay, wait. You said 20 years ago we could take our pants off at a Christmas party and get away with it.
People did. Are you kidding?
Really?
Oh, heaven. The stories I've heard, well, as long as I had the long johns on, but the stories you hear that happened in the 90s and the early, we're just in a different world right now. And so everybody's got to behave. As we used to call them, those are the CLMs, the career limiting moves. You don't want to make those.
Julie, give us one of the best stories that you've heard that you can relate to us.
Sex on the boss's desk.
What?
Come on.
No, absolutely.
But not with the boss was not involved.
Not with the boss. No, not with the boss. No.
Did the boss find out?
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
And they got to keep their jobs, or he
Absolutely not.
He didn't high five them?
No.
Was it
Okay.
during the party?
Give me the cleaner. Yeah, yes. It was an office
cleaner.
party. Yeah.
Does the type of company matter?
Yeah, because
It does,
this is
for
radio.
sure.
Radio's a little different. People are weirder, and you're encouraged to be out there. So, what about this job?
Yeah, you're right though. I mean, what is expected and accepted depends on the culture of the organization and sometimes really the industry you're in. Imagine some of the high finance type companies versus you work at an insurance company that, an insurance agency, where, it can be relatively staid. I don't want to generalize, but acceptable. So you've got to know when you go into your party, and a lot of companies they've gone away from those endless alcohol, after hours, let's all go crazy kind of parties, because it's also a huge liability to the organization, not just to your career. And so we're seeing a lot more of those, like in-office parties, maybe one drink or it's over a lunch, not only to not make people feel uncomfortable, because what was happening in those big parties were the kind of things I just said, or someone says inappropriate things to each other, or they grab each other. I mean, that kind of stuff happens. The more people feel uninhibited, generally, the more alcohol is involved. And let's remember this is a work party. And I think that's the main point, is you do have to self-monitor what you say, what you do, how much you drink. And for some of us, we don't want to go anyway. And so if you just go for an hour, or stay up, stay appropriate, slip out the back door, do what don't they call that, an Irish exit, where you just slip out after an hour.
Goodbye.
You've done your duties,
Yes. Yeah.
right? You've done your duties and showing up and being a good team player.
That is that's incredible. I can only imagine. Have people come to you for help once either they commit a career limiting move, a CLM at a party, or maybe a boss has employees? Do they come to you and say, "Oh my gosh"?
I had that happen last year. Yeah.
Really?
With somebody, a very high level person at a professional services firm, had said some really inappropriate things to the female employees, and were let go, as they should have been. And now imagine you're in a town where, and it's because of technology, everything's a small town now.
Yeah.
And so imagine you're out there trying to find a new job, but there's all these people out there who either know why you got let go, but on top of that, you have to answer the question, why did you leave this organization? So imagine trying to crack that answer. I was a really high performer. I'm telling you how great I am, and I was a high performer. But boy, what this is a slip in judgment. And that's where when companies are hiring, they want to know you're going to do a good job, but they also want to know, can we count on you to exercise good judgment?
Let's just say, and clearly the goal here is to not do something that will get you in trouble to where you had to leave the company and then have to answer to a new employer what you did. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, you do. What is a good way to overcome that? Are there? Do you just have to hope that the next person you work for doesn't ask, or what happens?
Yeah,
then?
boy, that's, what, those are tough. We help people craft what we call the exit statement all the time. And the good news is, I guess, in these cases, is that there's been so much movement. People have moved from job to job much more than they did, in days past, that in many cases, companies aren't asking. They just want to know what you can do and why you're applying there and how they might be able to fit you into their culture and organization. But if you do, at some point, you might have to say, there was an incident that I was involved in, and I'm not allowed to say anything beyond that, or I'm not comfortable saying anything beyond that. Sometimes, if people are really pressing, sometimes you have to say, if you can get away with, look, I just looked at my career and realized it was time to move on and build my career elsewhere. If you can get away with that as an answer, that will generally suffice. But I've also had situations where, and sometimes I wonder, did the company know and they just want to see if you're going to come clean? But you do have to have a story as to why you left. And you can try to perfume the pig and try to get away with it. And because you really, especially if there might be a lawsuit pending, that stuff happens. I think in this case there was. Then what you have to do in that case, what we tell somebody is, if you left your job under circumstances aren't so positive, that's the time you lean on your network, on the people who know that this one judgment lapse is not really who you are, and who can really be your referral sources and utilize their contacts to help you get another start somewhere. And I've never worked with someone, or we never have, who wasn't able to land someplace else. Regardless of why they left, maybe they, unless it was, a theft or something like that. But in general, if you screw up and lose a client, or you do something inappropriate at work, if you generally have a track record of not being that person, it's much easier to get a mulligan in your career than it is if everywhere you go, you tend to leave chaos behind.
Yeah, I feel like it would be a difficult sell if you are interviewing for a job and you just try to be totally honest and say, yeah, I had a sexy time on my boss's desk.
Yeah, on the desk.
On the desk.
Yeah.
So, but you could be like, now I'm trying to land a job.
Should I have not done that? Was that wrong?
Was that wrong?
Because nobody told me.
Put that on your no list. Put that on your no list, please, for next week.
Yes. So what about that? Okay, we have a weird industry. Radio is weird because we're constantly oversharing. We're oversharing on air, and you can imagine if we overshare on air, we overshare off air. So it's a very unique friendship. Your coworkers, sometimes you talk to them like more than your family. I don't know any other, corporate environment that is like that. So this is a weird industry.
Amy will not stop texting me.
Yeah. But, and we're in the same office too. It's constant. And then you text and it's a disaster. But anyway, what about that weird dynamic where like you're friends with someone that you work with outside of the office, or you're more comfortable with one person than another? If you are in a, like you said, an insurance company, and they're a little bit more staid, a little bit more uptight, they could be, and you're friends and you're a little too casual, do you find people get in trouble for that?
Yeah, and that's why I say this is a work event. Let's look at it as a slightly more relaxed work event, which means we don't pregame. We don't get ready to tell everybody what we think of them. This isn't a free-for-all. Remember, whatever you do or say at this work event is really like anything else you say or do at work. So hold yourself to the same code of behavior, because on Monday you have to go in and see that person again. So you guys clearly have a different type of relationship. And so therefore, you know how to behave within the boundaries of that relationship. It's always those people who don't understand what's appropriate and what isn't. And then they come to the holiday party and they think, well, this is a chance to let my hair down and just go wild. And that's where it goes wrong. And we all know in our work environment who those people are likely to be.
I could name them right now, but I feel like that's a no on your list.
Right.
Oh.
Right. And then you start putting alcohol in the mix. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So don't be embarrassed to go to work the day after the holiday party. What can you do to make sure that that's not going to be you?
So what do you do if you're somebody like me who is constantly getting hit on by, people? So like, how do you, I mean, with the charm and, the handsome nature of my being, what do I do to avoid trouble?
I can understand that, because I personally wish I could jump through the phone right now, but technology doesn't allow this.
I am calling HR when I get off the phone with you.
Yeah, maybe you. I don't know what to tell you. It's a curse, isn't it? It's a curse.
And he's already doing his best to deter, women. He's got the glasses and the hat and the Under Armour zip up every day. I don't know what else he can do.
What's wrong with my glasses?
Well, your glasses are fine. It's just like
my glasses are great.
You have a look that says, I'm trying to keep people away.
Trying to keep you away.
And so humble too. I love how humble you are as well.
Well, can you imagine, Julie? This is him sober on the air at work saying,
exactly.
"Oh, the ladies can't stay off of me."
Julie,
Can you imagine what this party's going to be like next week?
What if you're a fun drunk?
Yeah, you know what? The problem is the people who think they're fun drunks, nobody else tends to agree with that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Right,
I mean, really.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I agree. Well, the last time we had a party, Ranj thought it would be funny to see if he could fly. So he climbed on the couch and you put one leg over the wall. We were on like a 20-story building.
No, it was like 8:30. But no big. It's fine, Julie.
Okay, I'll believe you.
All right.
I wish I could come to this party. If either of you get fired, just call me the next day and we'll talk about your job search, okay?
I got your number. I'll call you.
You're going to have to call him.
Okay.
I know.
Oh, great.
It's going to be, I technically can't come to the party. I can't make it, but I want to sneak in to see how this gentleman is conducting himself because it's going to be sketch as hell.
Yeah. Oh, man. And we're
I'll tell
starting
you what,
early, too.
if his chair's empty the next day, if you're sitting there by yourself, you'll know.
Yeah.
It will be because I'm off work.
If he is,
Yeah.
well, that's true.
I'm off the rest of the week
But
after.
the next time we're supposed to be on the show together, if he's not there and it's just me, I'm calling you, Julie, and I'm going to say, guess what?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Julie
I'll be
Bauke.
helping him with his job search. I'll be helping you craft that perfect exit statement.
Yeah, I'll be calling you.
In fact, I'll get started on it right now.
I'll be calling. Yeah. Thank you.
Call the White Sox.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Julie.
Bye.
Julie Bauke, President and Chief Career Strategist at the Bauke Group. And I know this, if I need her, she's there for me.
Hey, 314-436-7900 if you lost your job because of a Christmas party or a holiday party.
I've got to know.
Come on, somebody text in or call in.
314-436-7900. Let us know the worst thing that happened to you at a Christmas party, office party, or if you did something that got you fired.
Oh, baby.
Let
Wow.
us know here on KMOX.
Make holiday magic this year with something beautiful and timeless from Diamonds Direct. A stunning eternity band, a pair of classic diamond stud earrings, something new and eye-catching from a world-class designer, or maybe you're looking for that perfect engagement ring or a fabulous timepiece. At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $300. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant for the ultimate convenience. Whether you connect online or in person, you're guaranteed to get the extraordinary value, ironclad warranties, and white glove service Diamonds Direct is known for. And to help make your purchase even more affordable, we've got special financing so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
This holiday season, give your loved ones the gift of Cardinals baseball. Holiday tickets and ticket packs are on sale now and start at just $55. Or for a chance to win great ticket packs valid for the 2024 season. Listen to Total Information AM all week long. Different packs will be featured and given away each day, such as Friday packs, Cub packs, weekend packs, and more. Contest details, they can be found at KMOX.com/contests.
Hi, I'm Tom Hoffman, president of Tom Hoffman Heating and Air Conditioning. I'll beat any competitor's price on a new furnace right now. Just call me, 314-471-7625.
Hardee's newest handcrafted recipe, candied bacon, coated with caramelized brown sugar and a hint of pepper. Try it on a made-from-scratch breakfast biscuit with egg and cheese, or with charbroiled Angus beef on a signature Frisco burger, or as its own salty sweet snack pack. Any time of day, candied bacon brings savory sweetness to all your favorite things. At Hardee's, goodness in the making. For a limited time at participating restaurants. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way without drugs or injections? Hey everyone, it's Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret to losing a half a pound to a pound of fat every day naturally, safely, and effectively without counting points or calories. No prepackaged meals, no hormones, no drugs, no injections or surgery. Schedule a free consultation now at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I just would like to reiterate what Dr. Glickert said, that you can lose a half a pound to a pound per day with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. And I can say that with confidence because that's what happened for me. Getting on the scale every morning, losing a half a pound to a pound was extremely motivating to stay on my plan. I lost 20 pounds in the first month. I've lost over 40 pounds altogether using St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. It really is not that hard when you follow their plan. Find out more by going to moweightloss.com. moweightloss.com. Join the internationally acclaimed Ambassadors of Harmony live in concert December 8th through the 10th at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Tickets are on sale now at aoh.org. See why thousands make this their Christmas tradition. Be enchanted with the Christmas spirit. 4 shows only, December 8th through 10th. The Ambassadors of Harmony, aoh.org.
Learn to make money 5 ways with rental real estate. Double your money with apartments and get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. Lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. Onder Law has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Oh yeah, Norman Lear passed away.
101.
101.
Wow.
An extremely consequential TV writer and producer, just involved in Sanford and Sons, involved in All in the Family.
Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons. He wrote for the Chappelle Show. So he must have been like 80 years old writing for the Chappelle Show, and he did 3 seasons. He did the 33 episodes. That's a lot. Man was involved in so many different things. So he's getting all sorts of recognition today because of how important he was to television. And I think those shows, especially All in the Family, granted, I didn't watch a ton of it. I saw some of it when I was a kid. My grandpa loved Sanford and Sons, so that was on sometimes. So I know I've seen these things, right? But you have to, even if you didn't watch the shows, acknowledge how important his contributions are and how television, sitcoms in particular, changed, sort of a pivot in history based on what those shows were and what they did.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely tackled controversial issues. It looked at prejudice. It looked at bias. Sometimes it used, offensive language for the time. It talked about, sex and menopause and things that people didn't talk about on TV. And so it was definitely groundbreaking in the entertainment realm. One thing that, he's known for is sometimes, there was crudeness or vulgarity or prejudice or difficult topics, but they were always broached by characters in his sitcoms, even All in the Family, that engendered a certain amount of empathy. So people put up with it. Well, either they liked it or they put up with it, partly because of the characters he was able to write. So yeah, it's incredible how TV has changed. It's funny because All in the Family was groundbreaking for a lot of things, not the least of which it was the first toilet flush on television. So
that's really interesting.
On the Brady Bunch, they took out all the toilets in the bathroom because there are a lot of bathroom scenes in the Brady Bunch where like the girls are getting, doing their hair in the mirror or whatever, the boys are talking. But the visual of a toilet was considered obscene at the time, so they took the toilets out.
Well, and just think about how certain shows, and we were talking about like making that pivot. I'm thinking about this right now. It's just occurring to me how people give Brady Bunch the credit for finally showing married couples sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah.
Now, it had happened multiple times before, but that was the first show where it was constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it happened on I Love Lucy a couple of times. The Munsters, it happened to them a couple of times.
Pregnant for the first time on I Love Lucy because it was considered obscene. Yeah.
So fascinating. Oh, we got a couple of good entries. People who have
baby,
screwed up at work,
Yes, yes.
or they saw somebody screw up at work at the holiday party. Share yours with us. 314-436-7900 on KMOX.
Selecting the right real estate agent to sell your home is the single most important factor when selling your home. This is Debbie Monterey. Imagine needing heart surgery. Would you choose a surgeon who performs hundreds of successful surgeries a year, or one with minimal experience and mediocre success rates? Selling your home is kind of like open heart surgery on your finances, and that's why I recommend you call Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Get to know Gloria because she'll give you multiple selling options when selling your home. For 20 years, Gloria's been helping home sellers just like you get the most money for their home. Experience, a proven track record, and guarantees matter when you're relying on an agent to get you the most amount of money in the least amount of time. Selling your home, there's just one call to make. That's 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. Gloria Liu at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
Do you love your house and hate the thought of assisted living? Whether you're caring for a loved one in your home right now or planning to live independently in the years ahead, call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. They can completely remodel your old bathroom in just 3 days and back up their work with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on both their quality and craftsmanship. If all you need is a new walk-in tub or easy entry shower to make your life easier, they could do just that for you. Avoid the hassle and stress of remodeling. Check them out on the web at 3daykitchen.com or call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath for your free design consultation today. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. It's about time.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
One of the things that surprises people after they retire is how much they still owe in taxes. That's usually because no one showed them how to create tax-free income. Well, good news is it's not too late. Steve All at the All Financial Group will show you some strategies that can help lower your tax obligations, both now and in the future.
America does not have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. And the only way we can get through the spending problem is to increase taxes. Let's look at it now and see if we could possibly help not only ourselves, but our children in the future to not pay as much taxes.
Join the All Financial Group for an exclusive educational workshop focusing on taxes in retirement on December 12th or 14th at Chris Steakhouse. These events are complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 o'clock, partly cloudy and 45 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Kina in for Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, California Republican Congressman and former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, says he is leaving Congress at the end of this year. He made the announcement in an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal saying that he intends on focusing his efforts on innovation rather than legislation. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian says this is going to make things even more difficult for House Republicans to get things done.
A seat that needs to be filled because having that vacuum will impact the Republican majority almost immediately as they prepare to take on these challenges of, again, trying to pass an appropriations package, major government funding, because as we know, Speaker Johnson has indicated he doesn't want to continue to do these so-called continuing resolutions, these short-term funding bills.
The county health department is seeing a rise in COVID-19 cases in St. Louis County. As of today, the rolling 7-day average has climbed to 166 new cases per day, reflecting a 45.1% increase over the past week. This increase underscores a critical need for action to curb the spread of the virus. DPH is recommending residents prioritize personal protective measures to mitigate the transmission of the virus. This includes getting vaccinated, wearing masks indoors in public places, and practicing social distancing as well as washing your hands. Well, a marijuana manufacturer in St. Louis is looking to unionize, but are they allowed to?
It was in a unanimous decision, said that this has to be an exception to the law. Otherwise, the results would be disastrous. The results would be that individuals could access or steal or corrupt opioid medication and other scheduled medication.
That's our legal analyst, KMOX legal analyst, Brad Young. The Illinois Supreme Court tells nurses it's okay for hospitals to require use of fingerprint-enabled medication storage.
This is Stuart McMillan on the movie set of On Fire, the story of John O'Leary, who had 100% burns to his body at the age of 9. And they're retelling that story here today at one of the properties owned by St. Louis University Hospital. And one of the scenes they're recording today is when Jack Buck brought little John into the broadcast booth at the Cardinals baseball stadium with William H. Macy playing Jack Buck. I saw him walk by just a moment ago, and I had to do a double take. He looks just like Jack.
Little technical difficulty there. From the KMOX business desk, Sugar Fire is getting ready to open a new restaurant in Florissant. But tonight, they're doing a special give-back event at their new neighbors, Narrow Gauge Brewing. They will offer buffet-style catering in a pay-as-you-go format where people can pay with money, canned goods, or toiletry items. The money will go to Hogs for the Cause, a nonprofit that supports families of children with pediatric brain cancer. The food and toiletry items go to Gateway 180. That's a local shelter. The event at Narrow Gauge Brewing begins at 3 this afternoon and ends when the food runs out. A check of the Dow at this hour. It looks like we're up so far at 10 points to 36,134. A check of traffic. Just construction delays right now for westbound 70 drivers before Cave Springs. You're slow. They're down to 2 lanes. Again, that left lane closed for road work, and that's usually in place until at least 3 o'clock this afternoon. Our weather forecast is going to be a pretty nice day. We should see partly sunny skies, afternoon highs of 49 degrees, clear tonight with a low of 41, and then for tomorrow, it looks like sunshine and much warmer, 64 to 65 degrees. Right now, 44 in St. Peters, 45 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 45 degrees. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis Cardinals Baseball. Cardinal tickets are on sale now and start at $55. Details at cardinals.com/holiday. Time to rewind. It's the Chris and Amy Rewind Recap.
Yeah, we got the baseball winter meetings covered here on KMOX, and Matt Pauley will be joining us at the bottom of the hour from Nashville. He is there covering it, and we'll talk about the future of Oliver Marmol, who sort of addressed the upcoming season and, you know, what he has to do to remain the Cardinals manager. So that is coming up at the bottom of the hour, and any other news and notes we'll get to you. Mike Claiborne is also there, so if anything does break today or tomorrow, we'll have it covered right here on KMOX. So, Amy, today at the very start of the show, we really got into, first of all, former President Trump's comments with Sean Hannity during a town hall in which he was asked directly by Hannity if he is going to be a dictator. And his response was, on day one, only on day one. And then he went on to say that he'll close the border and that he will drill. There'll be all kinds of drilling. And that's really it. And the question we asked was, even if he's not serious, that he's not going to be a dictator, and it's just the language he's using and the way he chose to answer questions, does it matter that he's not outright saying, hey, I'm not here to be a dictator. I'm here to be a president. You have to vote for me. You need to elect me. That's how this works. Does it matter that he didn't respond in that way? Because there are people defending him who are saying, well, he doesn't mean it. That's just him. That's just how he talks. And then there are others who say, well, we should take him seriously. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, first of all, words matter. I've said this a million times over, you know, regardless of who you are, whether you're Donald Trump or Joe Biden, when you are the president of the United States, it matters. It's the same thing when President Trump praised and congratulated Xi Jinping on 100 years of the Great Leap Forward, which saw, 40 million people die. At any rate, yeah, it matters. It was a stupid thing that he tweeted because he was the president of the United States. In this case, yes, you could say, well, he didn't really mean dictator. What he meant is he's going to get stuff done. He's finally going to get stuff done. Close the border, build the wall, start drilling so we have our own oil. You may agree with policies that support stronger border enforcement and drilling. I think I do, right? Yeah. Okay. You can't just toss out the Constitution because you want something done and you think Congress isn't getting it done. And what blows my mind is how myopic or unimaginative you have to be not to see that if Trump continues to expand the executive branch, as we've seen every administration do for the past however many years, that when there's President AOC or President Kamala Harris, well, if you supported Trump's right to bypass constitutional processes to get things done that you agree with, then you have to support Kamala Harris's or President AOC's right to bypass constitutional processes that they want to get done. There's a reason why it's a pain to get things done in this country. There's a reason why you have a bicameral government, right, with a legislature, I should say, and why the executive branch shouldn't have all the power that it does. And because Congress isn't doing its job, we have seen presidents jump in and say, well, I'm going to try to do it. My goodness, with forgiving student loan, Joe Biden even said, I don't have the constitutional power. Nancy Pelosi said he didn't have the constitutional power to do it, but he did it anyway. This is a bad precedent to set. And for Donald Trump, who could very likely be the Republican nominee, not to mention the president, for him to talk about, I'll just be a dictator for a day. It's ridiculous. It also has no binding power. It has no binding power because as soon as anyone else on the opposite party has the authority, whether it's in the legislature or as president, they're going to reverse it.
Yeah, and you can make the arguments that, and I think it's a good argument too, that his policy of drilling more and closing the borders is kind of silly because, look, as much as people like to say Biden has an open border policy, he doesn't. They are arresting more people at the border than they ever have. They're building the wall in Texas. He's expanded that. So it's not like they're just saying, hey, come on over, whatever you want to do. It isn't the actual reality. And we're also exporting more oil than we have in forever. So it's those two things you can make the actual policy argument. But the underlying argument here, and maybe the most important thing, is you can't even leave open the idea that you're entertaining being a dictator and taking it out on your political opponents, which is also what Hannity asked him about. He asked him about both things. We've got to stop this, man. We have to stop this kind of rhetoric, the end of the world stuff, because it's not putting us in a good place. We're already in a bad place, but I think it's getting worse. We also talked about there are a lot of deaths, a lot of infant and child deaths that are happening by suffocation in bed, suffocation in the crib, and also there are more fentanyl poisonings than we have seen in a very long time.
This is a problem not just in Missouri but nationwide, and so there are lots of actions being taken at the federal level. There's increased regulations around opioid prescribing to try to reduce the amount of opioids that are out there. There are, within Missouri, the Department of Mental Health, the Department of Health and Human Services.
So, again, it's something that you really need to be mindful of. And she wants you, if you do have any sort of medicine, whatever it is, lock it up at home and make sure kids can't get to it. Some of it, you never know what's there, but you have to be very careful. Also, this is a thing I did not know. She said your baby should sleep by him or herself always, nothing else in the crib except for a fitted sheet on the mattress or whatever, and that's it. No blankets, no pillows, no stuffed animals, no you should never be sleeping with your baby, because that's when accidents happen.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's one of those, I think it has been, knowledge that has become knowledge that has become better and better known over the course of decades, but still really important and needs to be said because it probably is kind of an instinct to want to put a blanket near your sleeping infant or have the baby sleeping next to you. And it can be dangerous, very dangerous for the baby.
Yep. And there is a website, sleepsafe.mo.gov, for information on that. Actually, it's safesleep.mo.gov for information on how you can keep your child safe. We also talked to Julie Bauke, who is an expert in keeping your job.
Yeah.
And the holiday season is here, which means holiday parties. We have one next week, and a lot of common sense. You got to be very, very careful what you do.
Here's first and foremost, don't have sexy time on your boss's desk.
Funny you say that because text messages to 314-436-7900. This one says, okay, I'll share my workplace boldness. I had sexy time with my girlfriend on the floor of my boss's office in front of his desk after hours. We were alone and I was locking up. We were not coworkers. Okay. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Does it?
Don't
okay.
do that.
I mean, good that you weren't coworkers, I guess, but the other parts of it are bad.
This one,
yeah. Wow.
This one from a 314 says, a coworker congratulated our boss's wife on her pregnancy.
Oh.
And asked when she was due.
Mm-hmm.
She had given birth 3 months prior.
So I know someone who also asked that question. God. And you know that person too. And it was not good.
Somebody here?
I cannot say, but you and I both know this person. And that person asked that question. And I think it had also been 3 months.
Dude.
So
maybe it's the same person.
I don't care. So here's the thing. I'm so paranoid now. I'm so paranoid that I never ask. I'm like, it's not my business anyway, right? Well, I one time, like years ago, I was going to a massage therapist for like a running thing, right? Working on just to make sure I could keep running. And anyway, this person, I assumed that they were pregnant, but again, because they're like, don't ever say anything. Don't ever say anything. So I didn't say anything. And then afterwards, she's like, you didn't even say anything about my entire pregnancy. She's like, I was pregnant for 9 months and I gave birth and you never said a word. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I was.
It's almost worse.
And I tried to play it off like I didn't. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Like I just assumed because everyone's like, don't say anything. So I didn't say anything. Because too, like everybody's pregnancies look different and some like don't show up as much as others. And I didn't want to say anything. And then I felt terrible. And she was like, why didn't you say something?
That's almost a worse situation because you are now painted into a corner of her wondering why you didn't say anything about it. And if she's smart enough, she'll say, oh, Amy thought I was fat.
Well, no.
Amy just thought I was big and had put on a bunch of weight.
First of all,
and didn't want to ask if I had a baby.
I am the most unobservant person ever. Second, those rooms are kind of dark. So it's not my fault in that sense. I was just trying to be careful. So then anyway, I just kind of played it off like I couldn't believe I didn't say anything because I thought I did and congratulations. And I think it was fine. But it's one of those things.
This text message is messing me up because it almost feels like a philosophical thing.
Okay.
It's existential for sure. This texter says, I asked my boss if they were real or not.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Like, are you real like the lady on the plane? Like that person's not real or are you really
That's what
the
I'm
boss?
thinking. I would like to know if this person was intoxicated. I think
okay, can you tell the story about the time that you woke up with the interesting sartorial selection, your clothes that you were wearing? One time, Ron, this is what he told me.
Oh, do you mean when I came home after a night?
Yeah.
I think I've told this, but I could tell you again.
You should just
This wasn't
it.
after a holiday party. I think what Amy's trying to say is don't get to this point.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Okay.
At your holiday party, don't get to the point where when you wake up the next day, you find yourself in a situation where you're sleeping on the couch.
Yep.
with your shirt and jacket on
Your shirt and jacket
and your shoes,
and your shoes.
but no pants.
So to this day, Ranj doesn't know if he pulled his pants off over his shoes or if he took his shoes off, took his pants off, and then put his shoes back on.
I'd like to
think it's the latter. I think that's funnier.
I would like to make it clear that this happened a while ago.
How long ago?
6 years.
Okay.
And I don't know how. I do know how it happened.
I actually thought it was way more.
I
did
know
not
how
think
it
it was that
happened.
recent. How did it happen?
Well,
Was it Malort?
it was not Malort. It was a gentleman who owns a whiskey bar, and he was just, try this one. Oh, try this one. You need to try this one, and that's how it happened. So don't get to that point. And if you at your holiday party, especially, don't be very, very careful.
When you woke up on the couch, was it your apartment?
It was my apartment.
Were you alone?
I was alone.
Interesting.
I was on the couch. Also, this text message. This is a great public service.
Yeah.
Don't do mushrooms at work.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Nope. Oh, and the
Interesting.
follow-up text to the person who asked their boss if they were real or not says, I was very drunk and unemployed the next day and was never told what I did. Don't get to that point. Your holiday parties, that's a great way to lose your job. So be very, very, very careful. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. This is KMOX.
2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 1120 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
How old are elves? Does Mrs. Claus have a first name? Is the fur attached to the top of Santa's boots or the bottom of Santa's pants? Some holiday mysteries may never be solved, but with holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery, finding the perfect gift doesn't have to be one of them. The spark of possibility that comes with every ticket versus the disappointment of yet another ugly holiday sweater. The better gift is clear. Give holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
Hi, Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota. 2023 is our 50th year of being a Toyota dealer, so come see us. We're on Highway 64 in O'Fallon, Illinois, or check us online at newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Drury Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Drury Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, folks, it's Charlie Brennan. You know, this year we noticed some missing mortar and loose stone around our front stone porch. You got it. We called Morelli Tuck Pointing. The Morelli team spot pointed the inside and outside of our stone porch. They used a waterproof mortar, which really matches well. Then the crew removed the old caulk where the porch meets the front brick wall. They then sealed this area and the rest of the deck using a polyurethane caulk and a sand finish. Our front stone porch is now in great shape, and it's never looked more beautiful. Do you live in a stone or brick home in need of repair? Call Morelli, the company that has won the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. Morelli, the masonry specialists, at 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com. and consult their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites.
This time of year is all about family. It's the laughter, the stories, and the cherished memories that make the holiday season so special. I've often wished that there was a way to bottle up those good times and those voices that mean so much to me. I've felt a responsibility and an obligation to make sure my grandchildren and their children know our family's history. Now, with Sound Story, I've done just that, and I'm so happy I did. Sound Story gave me the opportunity to spend an hour with an experienced interviewer who helped me turn those memories into a professionally produced recording that will stay in my family for generations to come. This year, give your family the gift that truly captures the spirit of the season with Sound Story. Visit mysoundstory.com to view the list of experienced interviewers, including KMOX's Dave Glover, Debbie Monterey, Carol Daniel, and Tom Ackerman, who would all love to help you preserve your most precious memories. Enter code KMOX for 10% off your Sound Story. That's mysoundstory.com, code KMOX for 10% off the gift that you'll never regret giving. Sound Story, for you, for them, forever.
KMOX, the 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year, recognized by the Missouri Broadcasters Association. KMOX, we were built for this.
I have sought to confront hate while preserving free expression. This is difficult work, and I know that I have not always gotten it right.
That's the voice of Claudine Gay, who is the president of Harvard University, testifying before Congress yesterday. More of I guess you would call it a hearing. That's what happened yesterday. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. And the topic was anti-Semitism, which has been pretty prominent on a lot of college campuses around the country.
Yeah, really, really bad on college campuses, especially Ivy League campuses, Harvard, Penn, MIT, all of who had president leaders testifying in front of Congress as Congress questioned the presidents of these Ivy League schools and what exactly they're doing to ensure that they can keep Jewish students safe. We saw the videos that's been going on and on, like at Cornell universities, where Jewish students had to be locked in the library because quote unquote protesters, but I would say an angry mob, was banging on the windows. And then one of the librarians said, well, you can hide in the attic until they go away. Jewish students are being forced to lock themselves in a cafeteria or not, lock themselves in the Hillel buildings because protesters and mobs are chanting about genocide, or there have been message boards calling for harm against Jewish students. And so the test, I know we don't have a lot of time to get into this. It was just really kind of shocking to see the very much equivocal, caveat laden and soft response to some pretty horrific anti-Semitism on campus, saying that, well, we protect free speech. I just don't buy it. That's not free speech when it turns into harassment or assault or calls for violence. So the Harvard Hillel, the Jewish student organization at Harvard, called President Claudine Gay's refusal to draw a line on anti-Semitic speech as, quote, profoundly shocking. They said, quote, President Gay's refusal to draw a line around threatening anti-Semitic speech as a violation of Harvard's policies is profoundly shocking, given explicit provisions within the conduct code prohibiting this kind of bullying and harassment. And it is something where, again, this is not free speech when you're calling for violence, when you're interrupting the study halls and classes, banging on drums, chanting, from the river to the sea, free Palestine, genocide, for Jews, all of these horrible things that are being chanted. And they're saying, well, it's free speech. No, that's bullying, harassment, intimidation, assault. I talked to Kevin Wheeler a while ago, and he brought up a really good point. He said, like, if someone was doing this about over women, like if someone was chanting anti-women, anti-female slogans, or just following female students around, we would recognize that as, whoa, that's harassment. This is not safe. These female students aren't safe. This is what's happening to students on these Ivy League campuses It's not a free speech issue. It's a harassment issue.
When it becomes harassment and it becomes threats of physical violence, that's when it is no longer free speech. But leading up till that point, it is an issue of free speech. Look, you can have a Nazi rally and nothing will happen to you
On
public. So that
property.
That does include public universities, I believe. I know these are not. Harvard is not. MIT, they are not. Well, actually,
Penn.
MIT is, I think. But Harvard, Penn, these are not. They're private universities. So
And
the
going
question
into
was whether or not
libraries-
the question is whether or not the code of conduct for the universities allows for some of this. I do think there is a free speech element to it, but as soon as you start actually harassing people and threatening them with physical violence, your speech is gone. Your freedom for speech should be gone. That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. We're going to check in with Matt Pauley from the winter meetings from Nashville next on KMOX.
You may find yourself in a beautiful house.
Hey guys, it's Dave from the Dave Glover Show, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on KMOX. This promo is going to sound like everyone else's promo, but everyone else's promo is a lie. They're just copying off of us. We are the original show about nothing. We're the original show about everything. We're just a bunch of smart people acting stupid and stupid people acting smart. And when you put it all together, it's a pretty good mix. We are 23 years in, and we are STLAF. That's the DGS, 1 to 5 p.m. KMOX.
Audi Kirkwood is under construction and our savings are through the roof. Save big during our construction sales event. Get up to 10% off MSRP on select new in-stock Audi models, plus low financing rates. Choose from over 500 vehicles, including the A4, Q5, Q7, e-tron, and more, all with complimentary home delivery. Our sales and service departments are still open during normal business hours. Shop AudiKirkwood.com or visit us on Manchester Road in Kirkwood.
This year, Christmas meets the Beatles. You're invited to Let It Be Christmas, the rock opera that tells the Christmas story entirely with classic Beatles songs. It's a St. Louis holiday tradition warming hearts and spirits for over a decade. Performances are December 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at the beautiful new Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. Let It Be Christmas, the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Tickets available now at metrotix.com or the K-Pac box office.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
The holiday season is here, and for many families trying to make ends meet, the holidays can be filled with stress and worry. St. Patrick's Center clients wonder how they will pay rent, keep the lights on, and feed their families. St. Patrick's Center is on a mission to keep more families safe at home this holiday season, but we need your help to ensure warm meals are provided for those with nothing to eat, shelter to those without a roof over their head, and supportive services provided to people who need it. Visit stpatrickcenter.org to learn how you can help today.
30, partly sunny, and 45 degrees downtown at the Arch. Developing this afternoon, a day after providing a progress report on the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office, the man appointed to get the office back in shape has announced he will run for office. St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore has been in office since June. He was appointed to replace Kim Gardner, who resigned following months of controversy. Police in Texas have arrested a suspect they say is responsible for a string of deadly shootings yesterday, killing at least 6 people, 4 in Austin and 2 near San Antonio. That suspect has been charged with 2 counts of capital murder. Additional charges are pending. CBS News correspondent Janet Shamlian is in Austin and has more details.
Police officer was shot. Now, all the people who were shot, the 2 police officers, one with the school district and the cyclist, are expected to be okay. But there are 4 cases now here in Austin, 2 in San Antonio. They all believe are connected, but authorities have not told us how they are linking these all together at this time.
Police say the rampage lasted 8 hours. CBS News correspondent Jim Krasula reports on a new focus on a long-standing safety concern. The federal government wants drug and alcohol testing to be required for workers at foreign aircraft repair shops who work on U.S.-based planes. It would include 1,000 repair facilities in 65 countries. Such a requirement would bring foreign repair shops under the same rules that apply to aircraft mechanics in the U.S.
The federal government wants drug and alcohol testing to be required for workers at foreign aircraft repair shops who work on U.S.-based planes. It would include 1,000 repair facilities in 65 countries. Such a requirement would bring foreign repair shops under the same rules that apply to aircraft mechanics in the U.S.
And unions representing U.S. aircraft mechanics have long pushed for more scrutiny of foreign shops, calling it safety and a safety issue, but the Federal Aviation Administration has resisted. A check of traffic, still some problems there for westbound 70 drivers. You're at about 35 miles an hour right now through that work zone down to 2 lanes. The left lane is blocked, and that's for westbound 70 drivers just east of Cave Springs. Our forecast for the afternoon: sunshine with some patchy clouds, 49 degrees, overnight lows 37, and for tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 64 degrees. Right now, it's 44 in St. Peters, 45 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 45 degrees. I'm Maria Aquina, in for Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Consumer Cellular. Freedom calls. Consumer Cellular offers the exact same nationwide 5G coverage as the major carriers, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Their 100% US-based support is just a click or a call away. Visit your local retail store in St. Louis to switch today.
It's football season, and the NFL is in full effect on the free Odyssey app. We're heading into the final stretch of the regular season, and the playoff picture is starting to come into focus. Whatever team you're rooting for, the free Odyssey app has you covered with the local talk and your team's podcasts. Plus, listen to play-by-play of every Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night game from Westwood One. If you're looking for the NFL, it's all on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search for your favorite team. That's AUDACY.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Just imagine getting net returns of 32%, 36%, 27%, 9%, 33%, 21%, 18%, 4%, 10%, even 35%. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore with Masterworks, the premier platform for investing in blue chip art. Masterworks has over 810,000 registered users and 16 exits to date that have paid out tens of millions in net proceeds. Although with Masterworks, you don't need millions to start investing. No wonder some of Masterworks' new offerings have sold out in minutes. Luckily, listeners can now skip the waitlist at masterworks.com, promo code MARS. That's masterworks.com, promo code MARS. Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. Important Regulation A disclosures and aggregate advisory performance at masterworks.com/CD.
This KMOX Major League Baseball Winter Meeting Report is presented by Goodwill. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we're sitting here and all we've talked about is 2023, right? So I'm looking forward to starting a new year with this group and kicking things off the right way. Yeah.
Would you spend more time thinking about what happened last year or what's going to potentially happen?
No, I've gone through that exercise already. Now it's focusing on what we can do to make sure that we don't repeat that and putting things in place to make sure that we get off to a good start starting the spring training. So, no, a lot of my energy is no longer on assessing what happened last year as much as like set ourselves up for success this year. Yeah.
Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol talking about, well, you heard him, 2023 and looking ahead to 2024. This past season was clearly not a good one. And Marmol did go on to say yesterday that, I mean, essentially what you would expect from a manager, and that if he does a good job, you get to keep your job. If you don't get to keep your job. So we will see how things play out in 2024. But right now, the Quiver River Electric guest line is bumping, and we've got Matt Pauley, host of Sports Open Line and pre and post game coverage, with us on KMOX. Matt, hello, first of all.
Hello.
Secondly, we'll get to that in a moment, to the Marmol comments, but let's talk about this bit of breaking news. Really not all that breaking, and I don't think we're surprised, but the Cardinals announcing a couple of minutes ago that Yadier Molina has officially been named Special Assistant to the President of Baseball Operations. So he is John Mozeliak's Special Assistant. What exactly does that mean, you believe?
I think they're still defining the role, but this is something that we knew was going to happen. He said as much when he did a Spanish language interview here recently. I think he's going to work on his schedule. He'll come in. He'll probably be around during much, if not all, of spring training, and then I would guess he's going to bounce in on occasion. I don't know how often that's going to be. I would think the organization would probably like him to maybe bounce into the minor league affiliates at times as well. So it's official. He's back. He gets to get his feet wet in terms of being a coach, and now we'll see what that looks like for him maybe in the future. You know, when I talked with Benji Molina early in the week, he indicated that at some point, Yadi is definitely going to want to be in the everyday grind once again. So this is just that first step for whatever's going to come next for him.
I kind of get it, Matt, like what Molina is doing, because I am now the assistant to the assistant coach of the Incarnate Word boys 5th grade basketball team. So I kind of get the pressure that he's feeling.
Do you?
I do. That's it. That's my comment.
All right. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Amy. Okay. All right.
Big breaking news here from the winter meetings that we're talking about. Incarnate Word 5th grade boys basketball.
He's going to be the assistant to the president of baseball operations.
He's John Mozeliak's special assistant.
But he's going
This
to
is what happens in
operate on his-
baseball.
yeah.
Whenever you have guys who are part of the organization, they get a special assistant title. There's a million special assistants. Joe McEwing, I think he's a special assistant now. After he got moved off the bench coach role. So there's a lot of special assistants, and it's just kind of the part of the lingo in baseball.
So you heard the comments from Oliver Marmol. You were there asking him questions. What do you think the job security is like for him right now? I mean, with the specter of Molina in the organization, and everybody knows that he wants to be a manager, or that he has told people he wants to be a manager someday. So you've already got Cardinals fans thinking about that possibility. That's a lot to be hanging over the head of Marmol, who you has to know is aware of all of this. So
yeah,
go ahead.
He commented on it too, like in the Post-Dispatch story. He said he's not worried about it. If you're good at your job, you keep your job. If you're not good at your job, you don't keep your job. I think it's really simple. If this is a winning team, if this is a playoff team, Oliver Marmol is going to get a contract extension. If the team looks anything remotely like what it looked like last year, they're going to be looking for a new manager for 2025.
See, that's true in a lot of organizations, but some organizations are a little more reluctant to pull that trigger quickly. And but how does it change the calculus if you have Molina around, who everybody knows his desire and how well the organization thinks of him? Does it change things one way or the other?
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have any experience doing it yet. Another thing to put out there, Skip Schumacher's contract is up at the end of this year. I think he signed just that 2-year deal with the Marlins, if I read correctly. And there's been some rumblings that he's a little bit unhappy with what's going on there when Kim Ng lost her job or left her job earlier this offseason. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. I do think Yadier Molina is going to be a major league manager at some point. I do think he is one of the greatest baseball minds and a guy who's got this competitive edge that very few players in my lifetime have been able to have. At the same time, I do like the idea of your major league manager having a little bit more experience than a single season working as a special advisor.
It did not matter for Craig Counsell.
No,
he got the job, and yeah. I mean, so does that
I
change
really like
much?
Craig Counsell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great. As those words were coming out of my mouth, that's exactly what I was thinking. That Counsell, and then you said his name. He was in the front office doing some things, and he's a really smart guy. And immediately he went into the dugout, and he was good from his first day on the job. So yes, that there are many people that can be true for. And I think if you look at the DNA of Molina, there's a pretty good chance he would fall into that category.
So this is a quote from Tyler O'Neill, and we not from him, but from his agent, Scott Boras. And this is following what John Mozeliak's comments on Monday were about him, that, it's on the table that he could get traded, and they are listening to offers for him. So here's Scott Boras, O'Neill's agent. He says, Tyler O'Neill, was 8th in MVP voting, 30 plus home runs, won 2 Gold Gloves. With the talent evaluation of the Cardinals, it's nice to know that they have players who reach higher levels, I guess. What do you take away from that?
I take it that Scott Boras is doing his job. His job is to defend his players to the end. I don't put a lot of credibility into what he's saying when he's citing statistics that are 2+ years old. We're talking about 2021. And I was all in on, I give guys the kind of the freedom to have down seasons. That happens in baseball. There's a lot of guys who, for whatever reason, they just don't put it together one year and they bounce back. So I was all in on Tyler O'Neill going into 2023. I don't think I was right on that because you look, he only played 72 games this past year and he only hit 231 and he only had 9 home runs. His OPS wasn't that good either at 715. So I appreciate what Scott Boras is trying to do. His job is to represent his players. His job is to put his players in the best light. His job is to get his players the best money and put them in the best situation. So he's just doing his job right there. But at the same time, I'm with the Cardinals on their thought process that it's time to move on from O'Neill.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. They've been overloaded with outfielders and outfield prospects. That seems to be the one area of strength they can deal from. So it will be fascinating to see how this moves forward. Let me ask you a couple of non-Cardinals related bits of news. There is reporting from the last hour or two that the Yankees are close or getting closer to a deal for Juan Soto. Do you think that's going to ultimately get executed?
I do, just because it's being so widely reported. I don't have any inside information on this, but you're seeing what I'm seeing, and that's that this deal is in its final stages. So that seems to be, I don't know if it's imminent, but maybe it's coming up on being imminent. And that's just, the Yankees are trying to put together an active offseason and really bounce back after what was a subpar season for them. And that goes a long way towards making them a better club.
How about this one? We're all paying attention to what happens to Shohei Ohtani. And the one thing he said a couple of weeks ago, or was made clear, that if anybody leaks information about him meeting with any particular team, he's going to hold that against that team. So you had the Blue Jays. That story got out that he met with the Blue Jays in Florida at their spring training facility. So obviously that's going to get found out. And then Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, basically saying, yep, we'll see what happens, but we met with him. Well, that goes exactly against what Ohtani wanted. Does that matter?
I don't know. This whole thing is dumb, I think. What are we doing here? It would be good for baseball for there to be a little bit more transparency in what's going on with the Ohtani free agent process. So I'm a little bit frustrated with him and the way he's handling it. Everybody can do things their own way. I just, for the good of the game, I don't feel like what he's doing is helping the game. I do know this: Dave Roberts is a super smart dude, and I think he's very calculated in what he says. So I have a really hard time believing that there wasn't some calculation in him saying that. Either the calculation was there's some sort of an agenda there, or the thought process was, well, just saying that, he's our number one free agent target is different than talking about, details of the courting of him. But I don't know. It's a very weird situation, and the way it's really held up the entire winter meetings. I want more to be going on, and I want there to be excitement, and it feels like everybody's just waiting for Ohtani.
And just listen to me here. When he says, I will hold it against you, I don't believe him. All you have to do is pay him the most money, and he'll come play for you. I think it's pretty much that simple.
I don't know. I mean, the one thing we're hearing, though, is that he really wants autonomy, where he's able to, when he wants to talk, he'll talk. More importantly, when he doesn't want to talk, he won't talk. Just being able to kind of do his own program and run his own way. So maybe in some ways it's a little bit of a test. I didn't know much about him as like a guy, and I know he's quiet and likes to keep to himself. But man, for somebody who is maybe the greatest player walking the face of the earth right now, it's a bummer that we don't get to know him a little bit more.
Matt Pauley, any thoughts on the Ford Frick Award? This is the award given annually to a baseball announcer to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame as an announcer. Joe Buck was one of the finalists, along with Tom Hamilton, guys like that, Dwayne Kuiper, Dan Schulman. But it was Joe Castiglione who is the Boston Red Sox announcer who gets in. Any thoughts?
Yeah, legendary baseball broadcaster, and there's so many deserving individuals. And it's, with this Ford Frick Award, for people who don't know, like 1 year will be designated. It's a year for a local guy, and then 1 year for a national guy. It's one individual per year. And when it comes to people, I don't know if the rotation is every 3 or every 4. But it's so tough to get in. So Joe Buck's going to be in at some point.
Eventually.
There's no doubt about that. Happy for Joe Castiglione for sure. Big part of the fan experience for Boston Red Sox fans.
I like Castiglione a lot. He's a really good dude and fun to talk to. I think that he's deserving of it. Last thing for you. We all know that Nashville, they're hosting the winter meetings right now. And that's not an accident, because we all know that eventually Nashville, Tennessee is going to be an MLB town. They're going to get a baseball team, whether it's by expansion or team moving. Do you take much away from the reporting that the current owner of the White Sox, Jerry Reinsdorf, was seen leaving the mayor's office yesterday? Does that mean much?
I think it means something. For him, maybe he's looking at this group that's being led by Dave Stewart that's really trying to get Major League Baseball into Nashville, and they've got a lot of the plans in there. And there'd been some rumblings that maybe the White Sox were interested in moving away from Chicago. If he sits there and sees that that Stewart has a little bit of momentum, and he feels like Nashville's the place where he wants to put the team, maybe he's trying to make up for it. I still feel like expansion with Stewart's group probably makes the most sense at this point. Like you worked with the White Sox for so long. That's a good fan base. I guess we can talk about the stadium situation and everything that goes along with that. But I don't like to see teams move that are supported. And I think the White Sox are a supported franchise. And I think they're, if they would produce a little bit of a better product, they would really be a supported team.
Same thing as the Oakland A's. And what did the John Fisher and the A's get rewarded with? They ran the team into the ground. They got a new stadium in a new city. That's what they're getting.
What are you hearing? You're connected to the White Sox.
He's got some dirt.
He's already tried to do this before in 1990, and then the state of Illinois jumped in last minute and said, you can have all of he's got this unbelievable stadium deal where they pay nothing to play there. And then the state of Illinois has to pay for all the upgrades on this. He's got a ridiculous stadium deal. So he's looking for something like that again. He will absolutely move them if he thinks he has a good deal, which is weird because he's 90 years old. So what are you going to do? You're going to be around when they come on, man. Yeah, he'll
White Sox fans are such good baseball fans.
If you put a good team out there, they will be.
I think they are, period.
Yeah.
I've talked about this with you a lot. Like when I was living in Milwaukee, for whatever reason, the people who lived in Chicago or transplanted from Chicago, they were all White Sox fans and they all loved baseball. With all due respect to the Cubs, I think at times being a Cubs fan is just sort of the trendy thing.
It is.
Man, if you're a White Sox fan, you are a hardcore baseball fan.
That's right. And you get rewarded by having an owner who's going to get rewarded by putting a bad product out there, which that it drives me crazy that John Fisher out of Oakland got this and Reinsdorf will probably get the same. It drives me nuts.
What if Barack Obama bought the White Sox? He's a White Sox fan?
Yeah, he'd keep it there.
Keep it there?
He'd have to get a group together, obviously.
Oh, he could get a group?
Yeah.
He's worth a lot.
I don't know if
he ain't worth
over
$1 billion.
$1 billion. I don't think Barack's worth
Not
$1 billion.
But he could have friends who are, you know what I mean? Get a group together.
Yeah.
He could get a group.
Sure.
He's popular.
The White Sox are currently have a value of $2.05 billion.
Right.
Okay.
So if you're going to buy it, you're probably looking at more like 2.5 to 3.
And Jerry bought the team for like 70.
Yeah.
Something stupid. 70 million. So as all these owners do, they will make a giant return on their investment.
I'm going to buy a team.
Matt Pauley,
you can buy the 5th grade boys basketball.
Okay.
That's awesome.
We'll be talking to you again
franchise
tomorrow. Matt Pauley,
the Fighting Mark scores.
Matt Pauley tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll talk.
Wait, Sports
yeah,
Open
I'll
Line?
probably be driving.
Sports Open
driving
Line
tomorrow.
Yeah, Sports Open Line.
6 to 6:45 tonight, leading to the SLU basketball.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That's Matt Pauley. Follow him on Twitter at Matt Pauley on air. Follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX and at Amy Marks Kors and at Chris Ranji. We made it very easy for you to find us.
I think that'll be a good investment. The 5th grade basketball team.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Rooney. Do you have an old car that's taking up room in the driveway? Repairs are costly and selling is a hassle. That's why you should donate it to Goodwill. Donating is quick and towing is free. Plus, you get a tax receipt and 4 tickets to a Cardinals game next year, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a win-win. For more information or to donate, visit online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention Cardinals.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey. You are not alone if when you hear those ads or see those signs saying we will buy your home for cash, that you're just a few short minutes away from a real lowball offer, right? Well, I was talking to Gloria about that, Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and here's what she told me. It's crucial that you know the truth about these cash offer companies because you spend years earning equity in your home and then you decide to sell. A cash investment company buys your home for 15% below market value, puts a little TLC into it, then sells it for 10% above its original true market value. But here's what I can tell you. Gloria Liu is different. She has multiple cash buyers who bid against each other, giving you the highest cash offers to choose from with zero hassles, no showings, and close quickly. So learn more about getting multiple cash offers today. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more, December 17th at 2:30 and 7 p.m. at Enterprise Center. This year's tour promises a new and larger presentation of the beloved holiday tradition, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, which has captured the hearts of multiple generations. Tickets on sale now, and $1 of each ticket sold to the matinee show will go to SSN Health Cardinal Glennon. Info at odyssey.com/KMOX.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way without drugs or injections? Hey everyone, it's Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret to losing a half a pound to a pound of fat every day, naturally, safely, and effectively, without counting points or calories, no prepackaged meals, no hormones, no drugs, no injections or surgery. Schedule a free consultation now at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I just would like to reiterate what Dr. Glickert said, that you can lose a half a pound to a pound per day with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. And I can say that with confidence because that's what happened for me. Getting on the scale every morning, losing a half a pound to a pound was extremely motivating to stay on my plan. I lost 20 pounds in the first month. I've lost over 40 pounds altogether using St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. It really is not that hard when you follow their plan. Find out more by going to moweightloss.com. moweightloss.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
With Hardee's Double Deals, get a double cheeseburger or bacon double cheeseburger starting at just $2.99. That's double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese. Or double the Hardee goodness with 2 charbroiled patties and cheese and bacon. Both starting at only $2.99. Hardee's. Goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant or app for details.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. Onderlaw has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
St. Louis, this is your show.
The show.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
All right, that's it for us. Chris and Amy will be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. The Dave Glover Show about to start at 1. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, or KMOX.com. 10 to 1 tomorrow, Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Carol Daniel here for PNC C-Speak, the language of executives. This month, we welcome Dave Peacock, CEO of Advantage Solutions. When asked what approaches have remained constant in his industry,